Welcome everybody to the Bad Movie Cast episode 2. My name is Hen and I have with me 3 Bad Film Crew members to talk about something very excruciatingly important. So, introduce yourselves, guys.
I'm Chris.
I'm Vic.
I'm Ari.
And the super duper special topic that we are going to talk about today is our awards show, the Dingleberries. We're recording this on May 2nd, 2021, roughly 2 days after we announced everything. And this is us essentially previewing the award show and giving our predictions as to what we think will win each category. So I get to start off with, you guys have anything to add about the whole award show itself, how it came to be, how things shook out the way they were, any general comments?
The way it kind of came together is kind of an idea we just had from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much first month of having the server, we were like, we should do an award show at some point. And I think we kind of settled on the anniversary period, like, pretty early, too. We just
We
didn't get to it fast come anniversary.
We figured a year would have a good amount of films to do it.
Right. Gotta have that backlog, of course.
Yeah.
So, our top 3 film nominees overall, Jupiter Ascending and Tammy and the T-Rex both have 6, and Book of Henry somehow has 7.
Yeah.
Chris is excited beyond all belief here.
I am shocked Carousel isn't top 3, honestly.
I think
Well,
it's good.
Yeah, it's in that next block
I
of
could see
5.
it. We'll talk about it, but I could see it being one of the top winners.
It really could be, yeah. There's a big wide range here of potential winners, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if a film has a chance to sweep and like win a lot, you'd probably either Carousel or Tammy.
I'm willing to bet Tammy just because more people know what it is and have seen it. But
Yeah.
that's something we'll get into
They have a lot of passionate fans. I feel like there'd be a lot of first place votes for that.
Yeah, definitely first, second, third, just because it's a memorable one. We'll go with that. It's memorable.
Say the least.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add? We're just going to dive right in.
Yeah, I think we can get to it.
Alrighty, so let's just go ahead and dive right in here. We're going reverse order of the form, so the form has all the categories listed from like top to bottom. We're gonna go bottom to top because why not? Also because the ones that probably would have the most interest are the ones that are gonna be last. So we'll start.
The Oscars did, and then just mix up the order and just do Best Picture now, and then end it off with like Best Couple.
Did anybody die recently? Kind of surprise.
Jiu-Jitsu
memorial?
did.
That didn't get any noms. That's not a Dingleberry film.
But it's still a notable BMC death.
We just ended with disappointment because those films died with us.
Oh god, that and Scoob, R.I.P. Man. I had high hopes for that one.
This has already gone so haywire. We've been on this call for like a half hour already. We haven't done a single category.
So are we starting with biggest overachiever?
Yes, we are.
The
And
5 nominees to bring us on topic are Double Dragon, Carousel, The Book of Henry, Jupiter Ascending, and Drive Hard. To me, this is wide open.
exactly. Just to clarify, biggest overachiever means it's a screening that didn't really have a lot of expectations going into it, but absolutely shattered them and became relative legends in their own right. Anybody have their own first pick for this?
I guess I'll start. At least looking at the noms, I don't know really how much Drive Hard surprised us that much because I feel like that really helped create the club. For me, I would say probably the top two for me that really I would say define being an overachiever is Double Dragon, especially because with that double feature with Mario, everyone was excited for Mario. Nobody cared about Double Dragon. Mario tanked, and then Double Dragon surpassed everyone's expectations as being actually fun. And then I would say the second one that stands out to me would probably be Book of Henry, because I remember specifically myself being very excited for it and everyone else being like, why would you do this to us? Why would you bring this pain onto us? And then it wasn't, and everyone had a good time. So that's what I'd say would probably be my top 2. I'm not sure which would be number 1, though, for me.
I think with Drive Hard, the shattering expectations more comes from the fact that, hey, this could work. Like, we had a couple movies at that point, but I think that's when the BMC sort of really started to gel. Like, Serenity and Jupe were good, but
Jupe is also nominated in this category, so you can also make
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think my personal pick would be Carousel, but I think Book of Henry's gonna win this.
I look at this and I think any of the top, those first three, Double Dragon, Carousel, Book of Henry, those all have looked really strong. Those all stand out to me. Even Jupiter Ascending too, because I think when we started, we didn't have an idea. Like, I kind of remember we were like, okay, this is a bad movie that tanked hard at the box office right when FM started. I don't think we knew how perfect a match it is for what we wanted to do. So that's also this is tough. I don't even know how I'm going to vote for this one.
Yeah, there's two ways you could go with it. It's either film quality or screening quality. If you're going by like film quality, it's probably Carousel because I didn't know what to expect going into it. It looked like a crappy direct DVD movie. It was that, but it was more than that at the same time because there were a lot of twists and turns it took that you weren't expecting, and it was overall kind of fun. In terms of like screening though, gosh, yeah, Double Dragon was nice because Mario Brothers was an abomination. I'm gonna put a pin in that discussion for later. Let's see what else here. Book of Henry was like kind of fun. It was weird because it was 4th of July weekend and not many people. Some people were there for that, some weren't. Jupe was hype. I'll say that much. That screening was a load of fun. I was not expecting to stay up for it. I saw it was on. I figured, give it a shot. It was popping. It was amazing. It was just jokes after jokes after jokes.
One of the biggest things with Jupe, I remember, is that we originally had it at like 8 Eastern, maybe. I'm just going to say about. And then I did the app for it, and like no one was there. So I just like canceled it. And then all of a sudden people are like later on, like say like 10 o'clock or something. We're like, wait, I wanted to watch it. And then like spontaneously, there were like 10 of us or something. It was one of our like highly attended screenings, all came together, and then we all watched it and had a great time. And I could say for myself, I saw it on my own and had a miserable time with it. So I was very surprised that it went as well as it did. So I feel like it could also fit into the overachiever theme, and like we nearly didn't have a screening of it, and then it overachieved and it happened.
Yeah, that I'll tell you what, that chat, that commentary
category
was popping. It was jokes after jokes after jokes. It was amazing. Just
it really was.
Ton of banter that night.
Yeah, loaded category. It really is.
Yeah. So let's go down the line and everyone say their prediction of what they think is going to win. So I will say my prediction, I'm going to go Book of Henry with this. Ari?
Carousel.
Vic?
Book of Henry.
Hen?
I want to go Double Dragon on this one, just because that Mario was so bad. But again, that's a discussion for a couple minutes from now.
Interesting. Okay. Very spread out.
It really could go a lot of different ways here, and my mind might change going as
I'm thinking I might put Double Dragon 4th or 1st.
Oh,
like it's
how?
It's a hard category to vote.
Like sending over any of the top 4 anyway.
Yeah, like none of us predicted Jupiter Ascending, and I could see that winning.
I really could.
I'm not sure about Drive Hard.
Could. Yeah, even Drive Hard. I mean,
it has a chance.
It was paired with like what, Drive Angry, so it was already kind of in a decent bracket in its own. So
it could make the argument, though. I feel like people were hyped for Drive Hard and not that hyped for Drive Angry, and then it went about as we thought it would. But
I think people were hyped for both.
Yeah.
That was our first double feature, so I feel like it was very exciting.
Right. True.
Okay, next category. Biggest disappointment, and these are for the screenings that did not live up to our expectations in one way or another. And for these, we have nominated Collateral Beauty, Cutting Class, John Tucker Must Die, Super Mario Bros., and The Brighton Strangler.
So are we voting based on this entire screening, or just based on the one specific disappointment? Because I think Cutting Class was still a good screening. And I think Brighton Strangler was too.
Yeah, I'd say it was fun.
There's a specific part of it that was the disappointment. So are we looking at the specific part or the entire screening as the biggest disappointment?
It depends on how much you value Brad Pitt's dick.
Okay, this is definitely going to be an explicit episode.
You gotta go there, right? Like, you can't just say that lore.
For those who don't know, Banjo...
We can't have a PG episode of Bad Movie Cast.
Yeah, Banjo really fought for Cutting Class, and to get everyone to vote for it, he said that we would see Brad Pitt's genitalia. We did not. We were let down in that way.
But it was still
We were
fun. Like, it
hoodwinked,
was a fun screening.
bamboozled, every descriptor in the book. Oh God, there's some heavy hitters.
Yeah, John Tucker Must Die. All of you.
No death. Yeah, no death in that.
Going to be about that. That one's on me. Brighton. There wasn't that much strangling. I'll be honest. I thought
Yeah, there was a lot of off-camera strangling, but not some on-camera strangling. I'll tell you that right now.
Mario, really, a lot of
Just everything, but also the appearances.
I'm gonna pin my thoughts on Mario because there's a better category for my thoughts on this. I got a nice little
and then
and Collateral Beauty, just everything.
Yeah,
I think though no one was excited for Collateral Beauty, and then it sucked.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I've only seen one of these.
What have you seen for them?
I only saw the Brighton Strangler.
really.
Just by reputation, and the fact I actually kind of enjoyed the Brighton Strangler screening. I feel like there's a clear front runner here, which is Collateral Beauty.
I don't see that. I'm Collateral Beauty will most likely.
Collateral Beauty, to me, was like kind of a middle of the road one. I wasn't sure where it was going to go, and it just made an awful left turn into holy crap, this is not fun at all. Mario, there was some hype for it. I was excited to see how bad it was.
Yeah,
that was a mistake, and I'll save my thoughts on that for a later category.
There's a lot of hype for Mario. I remember specifically, and it just flatlined.
Yeah,
like it's probably one of the worst screenings. And thank God we found it after.
That was not fun.
I feel like that also adds to disappointment. Also, we haven't talked about it. I'm not sure if I remember. When we were discussing these noms, were there any other films that we considered for these categories that didn't get?
Do we have that archive anywhere? I think we could deleted the archive.
We did. I could look at the history of the sheet.
But that's a lot of work.
I'm just going to look at the whole. I'm just going to play potential.
So my thought is, I agree that I was kind of, as soon as Collateral Beauty was picked, was like dreading it. I think I've got to go. I think my number one here is John Tucker Must Die, just because the disappointment that like it gives this nomination was so central to the movie and the entire experience of the film that it turned everything into such a disappointment.
Okay, interesting. For my personal top one, I'm not sure. I was kind of let down by not seeing Brad Pitt's dong, but the screening itself was decent, so I don't have to go into that much. I feel like the textbook definition of disappointment has got to be Mario, so that's probably going to be what I vote for, and probably going to be what I predict to win. It's gonna be Mario.
Second that, because Mario, like I was looking forward to it because I heard it was bad. I figured, how bad could it really be?
I think they had a really good, honest trailer for it too, and that got me excited. It made it sound hilarious.
Yeah,
and like I kept really wanting to like it, and like I was laughing at certain things, and then it just didn't go anywhere.
I was.
And I can't really even explain why it just doesn't work.
Because it's not a Mario movie. It's what a boomer thinks a Mario movie is.
But the fact that it's not a Mario movie should be really funny. But that joke just kind of runs out of steam quickly.
Yeah. I don't know. It's bad. It's like what an out of touch movie exec thinks a Mario movie should be, and that's probably the biggest dagger in my heart for that.
So I predicted Mario. Ken predicted Mario. Ari,
Collateral Beauty.
Okay, Vic.
I think I've been convinced to say Mario.
Okay, interesting. More consensus on that one, but
if nothing else, if you want to get your blood pressure risen and you're a Mario fan, watch Super Mario Brothers. You'll get the argument immediately.
Or if you just want your blood pressure risen, just watch Collateral Beauty. It'll probably happen.
Oh, that's Yep. Yep.
No matter what your expectations are. Okay, so interesting. Up next.
Our next category, if you have not seen certain Bad Movie Club films, you might want to skip ahead 3 to 5 minutes.
Because this next category is Best Twist. So I'm going to run through the noms, and these noms are generic as possible. If one intrigues you, maybe go check it out to see what we're talking about, and then come back to this. If one doesn't, then just go ahead and stay here, because if it doesn't sway you, nothing will. So we've got The Angels in Collateral Beauty, The Hospital Visit in the Book of Henry, The Island from Serenity, Plants from The Happening, and Chris, you go and say the last one.
Yeah, brother.
Your brother?
That's my boy.
I think that's a spoiler in itself.
You have no idea the context, though.
No idea what the context is.
Once you watch the first 10 minutes of the movie, you can guess what it's gonna be.
Okay.
What?
And I feel like you did or at least I did while watching it.
Okay, so we're just gonna.
That doesn't make it not.
We're going to spoil That's My Boy hardcore right now in 3, 2, 1. There's no way.
How can you predict incest in the first 10 minutes? What do you mean?
How?
No. As you introduce the brother and sister, you can clearly tell what they're going for there. It's very. I thought that was very clear.
Like, I thought it was like some overprotective business.
Yeah.
Not like
It's like,
they're actually sleeping
they're definitely
together.
gonna make an incest joke in here.
Yeah, I don't think you'd go for their full blown. They're in bed together, and then he calls it secret tickle time.
That's true. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
There's jokes, and there's
so
like
as much as that one was amazingly predictable and also unpredictable at the same time, as much as I want that movie to just disappear forever, I also might have to vote that for this category just because of that one line being so amazing.
It really is. I can quote that whole scene. I've seen That's My Boy multiple times. I think you know that by now, but I think it's truly a magnificent scene, and it's definitely the best scene in the film, in my humble opinion. Looking at these other noms, though.
Didn't Sandler like get
for
into
me-
something with Cloris Leachman? That's My Boy too.
What?
Didn't he like have a relationship with like Cloris Leachman? That's My Boy, or am I misremembering?
If Cloris Leachman was the one to play the grandma, but he did sleep with the grandma, and so did Vanilla Ice.
Oh.
Yes, Vanilla Ice plays himself in the film.
Yes, he does.
What is this movie?
Do you see this?
Abortion, that's what this movie
If you hear
is.
this conversation and you have not yet seen That's My Boy, and you then want to see That's My Boy, you should go see a therapist.
I'll agree with that because I
Oh.
do not want to see it based on this.
Okay. So based off of this, even though that is absolutely insane and know how much I love it, I do think this vote is hard
There's a
when
lot.
Serenity exists.
It is.
There's a lot, man.
And Book of Henry.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like those two are
Book
huge.
of Henry has sort of a leg up in that the twist is right in the middle of the movie and have the half of the movie just spiraling out of control the entire time.
That's a great description.
Book of Henry and Serenity both do that. I think Serenity is a lot later, but it kind of, you hit the twist and then the whole rest of the movie just spirals like out of control. And
Serenity's twist just keeps twisting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Until, like, it does like a 1080.
Yeah. Definitely one of the
Screw.
best things I would say about Serenity is like if you watch the trailer to that movie, there is no way in hell you're thinking where it goes. Which, okay, we're gonna spoil it right now. A video game?
Yeah, no. Never would have guessed that.
No, right mind. I remember when I watched it the first time, I watched it with my mom, and I knew there was gonna be a twist. We were just like, really? Like, I was just like, oh my god, this is awful. But I was like, that's impressive. That's really ballsy. It's terrible, but like, hey, they really did try.
And I just love how it shifted gears to that, and instead of shifting to a lower gear, it shifted into 3 gears higher and just kept putting its foot on the gas.
Oh my god, that was okay.
I think we had to nominate The Happening, but that twist just sucks.
Well, there really wasn't many
it's
other
just a
twists
bad
out
twist.
there.
There were only 5 twists, so
Yeah.
No, but like it's just a bad, disappointing twist.
I feel like Collateral Beauty and That Happening will be 4 and 5 votes.
Happening should be 5. Collateral should be 4.
Yeah,
The top 3.
I don't know if enough people have seen That's My Boy.
I can't believe Twisted Pair didn't get nominated.
It's not a twist though.
Twist
I hear your joke, but it's not there.
I want it
I
noted.
wasn't even I wasn't even for the pun. I was going for the actual twist. But I also forgot how it plays out. Well, there's the fact that they're brothers. And it's also on the poster, so it's not that much of a twist.
It's
like
I was very impressed that
But it also is a twist in the context of the movie. Like if you didn't see the poster or any sort of anything, you could have been surprised.
Man's being nominated.
I mean, you see a same dude with a beard. Some questions start to form in your head, and some connections start to form in your head.
Yeah.
I just want it noted.
For predictions, or wait it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I just want it noted for the audience that in discussing this category, the Twisted Pair joke has been repeated like 10 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess let's go to predictions. I'm going last because I don't know what I'm gonna say. So Hen.
Fuck it, I'll go first. It's a ballsy move to call your movie Book of Henry and then essentially fridge him for the back half. So we're going with the hospital visit.
Okay, Vic.
I think I gotta agree again. I think it's Book of Henry.
Ari.
I'll say Serenity.
I feel like it's definitely gonna be Book of Henry or Serenity.
I think That's My Boy is a possibility.
Yeah,
It could
people
be.
don't like it.
I don't know
But
if people have seen it. It's a dark
Also
horse,
true.
definitely. For my prediction, I'm gonna go with. This is really hard. I wonder if this awkward silence is gonna be edited out, or if it's just gonna be me talking like this.
Leave it.
I'm considering leaving it.
All right, okay, that's fine. Let's go Serenity, just to even it out. No, Book of Henry. Book of Henry. Final answer.
See?
Are we keeping track of our predictions and like making a game out of it?
Someone can.
I mean,
It's not
Sounds like
gonna be
something we
me.
make bot do.
Pot do it. Look
He's
at
still
it
in the
wrong.
cage. He's got work to do to get back out.
Oh wait, it's May. We should take him out of the cage.
No.
Okay.
Eventually.
Vic, what's the next category, bud?
Best effects. We have Cats, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Tammy and the T-Rex, Twisted Pair, and Venom.
So
There's
here's
a
a
lot
fun
of
little
different
anecdote.
directions you could go in this category between
Yes.
these nominations.
Yep. Here's a fun little anecdote. I was making the video for nominations while I was on a Zoom call, like an important Zoom call for my work, and I had to pick screenshots that best exemplified the effects in that movie. And boy, I tell you, whenever I realized that I could put Idris Elba in that cross-legged, all-out position, let me tell you this: it was hard to not burst out laughing, especially with my face cam on during that meeting. But I kept my composure, and I drew. Oh God.
If you're gonna look at it like in terms of like actual effects, Venom had, I would say, decent effects, and I
The best is in quotation marks here for
like
a very important
but
reason.
if we're looking at best, I mean, you saw the monstrosity of Cats, and if you haven't, you've seen images from it, so you know. Shark Boy and Lava Girl had classic early 2000s animation, and then
I'll give Shark Boy and Lava Girl this. It was meant to be low budget, and it was all meant to be on green screens. That was Rodriguez's aesthetic. Like Spy Kids did the same exact thing, so I can't really knock it that much.
Yeah.
Tammy, to me, had a couple things going for it. One being the fact that literally the entire budget was spent on buying an animatronic dinosaur. The other being this scene where the guy just gets stabbed in the chest and just holds the bowl of fruit punch and pours it onto the ground as the effect.
I mean, listen, if your movie's called Tammy and the T-Rex, you better make that T-Rex look good. That's all I gotta say on that.
I think Tammy and the T-Rex is the funniest because of the arms. Every time the T-Rex grabs something, it's obviously just a pair of fake arms that somebody's holding off screen at like 10 feet away, and then they zoom out and it's got the little short normal T-Rex arms.
I think it's important to note though that one of the movies in this category was released and then re-released with a new VFX patch because it was released with such crappy effects.
Like they had like Judi Dench's like actual hand.
Her wedding ring was in the shot.
They
Yeah, her
showed like
wedding ring.
wedding rings and like actual like feet and hands.
Yeah.
And we have not seen the original cut because it had to be patched to repair the effects to show us the thing that we saw.
At least the butthole cut.
It exists somewhere, probably in a layer of hell that we hopefully will never hit.
All right, let's do predictions.
Oh, one thing I want to add too.
No.
I don't know which madman showed Neil Breen green screen, but thank you to whoever did that. Because Neil Breen green screen is something I didn't know I wanted until I saw Twisted Pair. Watching him zip from the top of a building to the bottom in a near instant was just, chef kiss.
Ari dubbed that green screen.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's just perfect.
It really is. All right, so let's do our predictions. I'll start. I feel like it's very, at least in my thought point, I can't see how it's not going to be Cats. And that's probably what I'm going to be voting for too.
Pass.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, man, seeing Idris Elba half naked, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. If that's not VFX gold, I don't know what the hell is.
All right, so I'm going Cats too. Vic?
by reputation again, I think it's gonna be cats too.
All right.
I said cats.
Cats. Okay. So, yep. So, we have unanimous. Imagine if we're all wrong.
I don't know, man.
It's like on ESPN for like Monday Night Football or game day when they like you see the
Get
draft, like
exposed for
everyone
bad
picks,
takes.
and then
I feel like based on membership, anytime Green is gonna be in a category, he'll be a dark horse, no matter what it is.
Damn right.
Better chances in other categories.
Yeah. Some better than others.
Chris, I think you have to do the quotes again.
I do. I'm fine with that. Yeah. So for our next category, we have best quote. And for our nominees for this one are "Don't condescend to me," said by Henry in the Book of Henry. "I create life and I destroy it," said by Eddie Redmayne in Jupe. "I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!" said by Nicolas Cage himself in Vampire Smith. "I resign today as president of the bank," said by the former president of the bank in Fateful Findings. And "What we got here is one of them testicular standoffs," said in Tammy and the T-Rex. Now, I gotta say, first off, these 5 quotes are amazing. This was such a hard category to narrow down to just 5.
Indeed. We had a lot of options.
I don't know if we're all going to be on the same page, but I think one of them stands ahead.
This is so hard. I think all 5 are amazing.
Oh, I've got a little bone to pick with you, Chris, because you butchered the "I create life" delivery twice on the video and on here, because you got to get the full effects of Eddie Redmayne.
I create life.
Eddie Redmayne has an Oscar, okay? I'm not that worthy of him. Okay? He's an Academy Award winner.
He is an Academy Award winner. That's right.
That's why my best impression is like Sandler. Okay, I don't do Redmayne. I go Sandler, and like that's my bar.
I think that quote being the one that I don't know if we have quote bot if it's not for that one line.
It's still there.
We probably do, but
still
then
there.
that's the reason for it, and I think that just puts it so far ahead.
I want to point out before we continue that when we were discussing it originally, we were going to have some categories be more than 5.
Oh yeah.
But then we had 10 for a picture, both of the pictures, and then just 10 for quotes. We decided to narrow it down. I have the other 5 that we were considering.
Yeah, go for it. There were some winners in there.
And I will, I guess.
I'm going to open a write-in vote.
We had semantics from Drive Hard, which didn't make it probably because it's just a word.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
I
don't even know if it's an actual quote.
Yeah, it is.
He definitely said the
word
word semantics. At one point in the movie, he definitely said the word semantics.
He said it multiple times, actually, I thought.
Yeah. "I love dogs. I've always loved dogs," said by Jupe, which we nixed because we didn't want to have 2 from the same movie.
Yeah.
But we could have, because it's like best song, of which we don't have either, but in the real Oscars.
We give him herpes. They give him an award.
That was tough. That was tough.
That's a really good quote, but I feel like
the
film ended up letting it get next. This one I was kind of disappointed for. "Thrust It," Showgirls. And then
we'll come back.
"Me, You, Tuna."
Is it "Me, You, and the motherfucking tuna"? Am I wrong about that?
I just had typed on the sheet "Me, You, Tuna."
Oh yeah, because I was lazy.
Okay. So with what heads?
Yeah, probably out of those, I'm sad that the herpes line didn't make it, but you know what? We got 5 winners on here. That would have been number 6.
This possibly is one of the hardest categories. I could see.
We do have the right 5.
I could see all 5 of these winning. I don't know about you guys.
I would be happy with a 4-way tie amongst the top 4 in this category, honestly.
You don't like testicular standoffs?
Not as much as the other ones.
Really, though?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a funny quote. I don't think it's an elite quote on that level.
I feel like in terms of like in our discussions, like throughout the server, even after the films, the 2 that are brought up the most are "Don't Condescend to Me" and "I Create Life and I Destroy."
Yeah. No, you're not wrong about that.
I see the semantics emoji used a lot too.
True, but that's not.
So that's not a semantics emoji. That's a Drive Hard emoji.
Well, but
we will get to that emoji. We will be talking about that emoji eventually. So I think we should.
Yeah, that's on point.
But yeah, this is really hard, so I don't want to go first again.
I'll go first because I'm voting for I create life.
Is that your prediction or what you want?
Yes, that's my prediction. That's
Prediction.
both. Yeah.
Cool. Nick.
I feel like I create life's the front runner, but I'm a vampire to win, so I'm going with I'm a vampire.
As your prediction as well?
Yes.
Okay. Ari?
I'm gonna predict Jupiter Ascending.
Okay. It's odd how close we said it was, because I'm also going to say I create life and I destroy it. But I do think something's going to sneak in. It's going to be Don't Condescend to Me. So if there's a dark horse, I'm going to say that could also.
I think Vampire's Kiss could get the vote of like some people.
I think we also
For
talked
sure.
about possibly just doing the alphabet for that as the quote.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
We should have. How did we not?
The vampire's better.
Hello, this is your friendly podcast editor Vic here, just denoting that, while not explicitly said, this is the best scene category. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Our next category is an old one. We have from the Book of Henry, some slight spoilers here. Discovering the Plan from Troll 2. Oh my god! From Showgirls, the pool scene. The Finding in Tammy and the T-Rex. And the quote-unquote suicide from Fateful Findings. I have not seen Troll 2 yet.
You know
I
the game.
should. Maybe I will do that this
If you
week,
Google the
but
scene, you pretty much got it.
but I don't know the whole scene. I only know the GIF.
I mean,
But I will
You
say
can
the
Google-
other
you can
four
Google the
are
scene.
all
You'll-
incredibly deserving. I probably will do that maybe right now. But the other four are all incredibly deserving. I don't know how to pick.
I agree. I think this was another one. I can't find if we typed out more, but I feel like there were definitely other ones we considered for this. I can't think off the top of my head.
We had the four like set up, and the fifth one was kind of hard to figure out. And the fifth one was oh my god, because like how can you not?
I also feel like we might have put that in just because it didn't make quote.
Shh, shh.
Maybe that
But
was-
goodness, no. Like there, some is kind of tough too. I gotta say, man, like I feel like the Discovering Henry's Plan thing kind of parlays into the twist a little bit.
Mhm.
That's like the next gear,
Mhm.
and after that happens, instead of a gradual acceleration, it's foot on the gas. We're going there. Buckle up.
What was the line? What was it like? Mom, Henry wants us to kill.
Henry wants us to kill Glenn.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the. I think I wanted that in best quote,
Oh, that would.
We
Yeah,
had
don't
multiple
condescend
endings,
to
I
me.
think.
but
Yeah.
I think it works better as the twist.
I think that's another reason we just went with 5 for quote, because we kept
Right.
adding onto it.
Yeah. It became
Yeah.
we did.
We could have had like 20 quotes.
These
I
are
think
all
that's
so
the scenes we
good.
haven't talked about yet.
Finding and Tammy and the T-Rex just throws you off so much. It's just like, why is this happening? How is this? Why is Richards the worst? Or how is Paul Walker? And
Yeah, why is there a striptease now? Why is this brain in a jar?
I mean, none of that movie made any sense, so it fits.
Yeah, it's a turn you never would have expected.
I feel like one that's gonna get underrated and I think should get more recognition than it does is the pool scene in Showgirls.
Yeah.
Basic.
He was flopping like a fish.
There was some movement going on in there. What that movement was for, I have no idea, but there was some movement.
I also, it's so good because of how explicit that scene is, and yet you can find it in GIF search and on YouTube's, despite the horrifying explicitness.
You can't see
of
anything.
that
It's
scene.
just jerking around. Like there's no.
My review from Letterboxd is literally the GIF. It's a link to the GIF. That's my entire review.
I just cannot
I
believe.
think that was where that movie peaked, and then the
Yeah.
second half of it cratered so much.
Was that the
And I
first
don't know
half
if
of the
it'd
movie?
be elevated or taken down for that.
That
I think it was
not the
about
movie,
halfway
was
through.
it? I thought it was like 2/3 of the way through it. Because I know the ending just kind of
I think
parlayed
it was
into
about
something
halfway
horrible.
through.
Wow. And again, that movie was like nearly 3 hours, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that.
It was like two, a little over two.
A
Chris,
lot
are you
longer
okay?
than it needed to be. That's for sure. A lot longer than it needed to be. I cannot believe that we have not talked about how Jim committed suicide. I cannot believe that we have not talked about Jim committing suicide. How could he have done this? How could he have committed suicide? I love that scene. That's the reason why I nominated all the Breen ones. Why I wanted to get that train rolling. That too good.
I feel like a lot of these scenes can be tied to quotes. I'm noticing
That's
this
kind of
now.
how it goes, I think. Like that's what you remember is just horrible dialogue.
The pool scene definitely goes for visuals.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
And I would say that probably for Tammy as well.
indeed.
Yeah.
Let's do predictions.
I'll start. My prediction is that we're going to get a split, and I think that the Breen contingent is going to push it over the top in like a 30-20-20 kind of thing.
So you're saying Breen?
I think so. Yeah. That's
What do you think is going to be?
That's my prediction.
You said it's going to be super close between that one and another one.
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
think the other one's going to be? What do you think it's going to be close
I think it's going to be like that one has like a slight lead, while the others are all super close with like a number of votes that would win other categories.
All right.
Would there be ones that are more likely to win out than other nominees on here?
That's my prediction. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I'm going to say I'm going to be rooting for Showgirls. Probably, possibly Henry. I'm not sure, but I think the Breen faction's going to put it over the edge for
Yeah, I got to go with my boy Breen. But I guess the whole point with the plan is it's not just Tremblay saying, Henry wants us to kill Glenn. It's the whole montage of them listening to cassette tapes of Henry methodically explaining how they're going to kill this man. And he'll even say, "Nice shot, Mom."
No, and knowing the traffic patterns of the city and knowing when she's going to hit a red light and when there's going to be a car cutting her off.
He's too goddamn good.
Exactly what she's going to say. Iconic. Vic, I don't think we got a prediction from you yet.
I think it's going to be close between Breen and Book of Henry. I think Book of Henry's going to have the advantage, though. So, Book of Henry.
Interesting.
All right, so if we're all set with that, let's go to the next category. And this category is one that I want to talk about a lot. It's worst film from an existing IP. And we have a lot of interesting contenders here. We've got Cats, we've got Catwoman, we've got Howard the Duck, we've got Super Mario Brothers, and we've got Wild Wild West. Now, these movies all had some weird takes on the original source material, but if you haven't seen Super Mario Brothers yet, let me explain to you how these two directors absolutely bastardized that movie. The names of the characters. We'll start there with the names. It's not just, Mario the plumber and Luigi the plumber. It's Mario and Luigi Mario. Because apparently Mario Brothers means you literally have to make them brothers with the same last name. The main overall princess, they could have went with Peach. They chose Daisy for some odd reason. Was Daisy a thing in the games yet? I'm pretty sure no, but they went that route. Let's talk about the Mushroom Kingdom and how instead of actual Goombas, being mushroom people, they opted for mini dinosaurs with baby-sized heads. What? Like, I don't know, man. A lot of questionable choices were made, more so than any other one. But
I definitely think it's a front runner, for sure. I want to say there's one other one I think is a front runner, and there's one I want to give a defense to. I'm going to give a defense to one of them too. I think Cats is as weird as it is on Broadway as it was. So I'm going to be rooting against that. I hope that doesn't win. Catwoman though. Who the hell?
I'm patient.
So are we voting for the worst film in this category, or is it the one that's least faithful to the source material in the worst way?
I would say, at least for me, worst adaptation.
Yep. I have a
like
clear
the least faithful.
Yeah.
I guess so. I would say for me, Mario and Catwoman are the two front runners.
I think it has to be Mario. Just what are those? What is that Goomba? What is Toad?
I mean,
who is Yoshi?
I forgot about Toad and Yoshi.
Koopa. Every single character. You have Toad. You have Yoshi. You have Koopa. You have Bowser, who's just a guy in a mafia suit. I think there's more. Are there Shy Guys in that?
No, there's no Shy Guys, but they would have been awful too.
I'm going to make a counter argument to defend Catwoman because I feel like that also should be considered. I don't think it should be a runaway with Mario. They literally have her powers come from an actual cat.
I claim that as the Sam Raimi defense because in Spider-Man, the live-action movies, it came from a spider. And the comics, it's kind of hit or miss whether Peter got powers from a spider. Sometimes he just got him.
I don't know about comics. Is there anything in the comics about Catwoman getting powers from a cat?
I mean, in Batman Returns, Selina Kyle jumped out the window and the cat surrounded her, and then she magically became Catwoman. So I don't know.
I guess. I don't
I
know.
think that's called post-concussion syndrome.
That's another good argument. Yeah.
I also don't know anything about Howard the Duck from the comics, so I don't really know how to evaluate this.
Same with Wild Wild West.
I mean, I don't think Howard tried to bone his female friend
You never
20
know.
minutes after meeting her.
You never know. And I don't know about Wild Wild West either.
What is Wild Wild?
So, Wild Wild West probably. Well, I think it was. I'm not sure if it was like originally meant to be like some sort of steampunky show. Yeah, 'cause it was based off a TV show from the 50s, I believe, or 60s. Yeah, the 60s.
I looked into the show a little bit. I don't think it really was. I think it was just like a Western.
Oh, okay. So here's the Wikipedia summary
Yeah,
on it. Developed at a time when the television western was losing ground to spy genre, this show was conceived by its creator, Michael Garrison, as James Bond on horseback. Set during the administration of President Ulysses S. Grant, the series followed Secret Service agents James West and Artemis Gordon as they solved crimes, protected the president, and foiled the plans of megalomania, you know the word, villains to help take over part of or all of the United States. The show featured a number of fantasy elements, such as the technologically advanced devices used by the agents and their adversaries. The combination of the Victorian era time frame and the use of Vernian technology have led to several steampunk websites to cite the show as a pioneering influence on the genre. I think it hit, given that.
Yeah.
They're touching
Sounds
of
right.
boobs in the original? Probably not, but I mean, the same.
I don't know. The 60s were a weird time.
Way back in the day.
All right, let's get to predictions. Mario.
I think it has to be Mario, maybe Cats.
I don't know about Cats. I would say Catwoman is a better shot.
I think if people see it as worst film, they'll vote for Cats.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to say
It's
Mario.
just so bad.
Does anyone else not think Mario? Or does everyone think Mario?
I can't see how it's not Mario. I just can't. Like, Cats was weird. It was weird without the audience. It was weird when they went to the ship. But, like, no. Cats did not make me enraged. Mario Brothers made me enraged. It's hard to do that for me. Oh, nah, it kind of needs to do that for me. So. Any other final thoughts on this?
I'm in agreement with you guys. Super Mario probably with a runaway. All right, again, getting spoilery here. So our best death category, we have Donovan Leitch, Cutting Class, Jim, Fateful Findings, John Voight, Anaconda, Kelsey Grammer from Money Plane, and Samuel L. Jackson from Deep Blue Sea.
So I'm going to interject here real quick. Quick spoiler alert. If you've seen the movies, just keep on keeping on. If you want to watch the movie first and not get spoiled by the death, now's the part where you stop this and jump ahead like 3 or 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about the death for each one real quick. Okay, Donovan Leitch. He was the bad guy in Cutting Class. He experienced death by table saws. He was pushed literally back first into a table saw and died. Jim was you know how we talked about the scene in Fateful Findings? I cannot believe he committed suicide. That guy who was actually he did not commit suicide. He was shot by his wife in a rage because she wanted to put his damn car full of holes, but she picked the guy instead. John Voight was death by boa constrictor. I think it was some kind of snake or cobra. Kelsey Grammer died in a firefight with, I think, DEA agents or some kind of law enforcement. Some sort of last stand. We didn't really see the end of him. And Sam Jackson is a good one because it was one of the real twists of him. He was giving a rousing speech to motivate the other people still on the ship. And then a shark comes out, bites him, and takes him into the blue sea. And everyone else is like, oh no, we're in deep, deep trouble now. So, anybody have any thoughts? Want me to go on here first?
Go ahead.
Based on pure shock value alone, probably either Sam Jackson or Donovan Leitch. There were some really fun kills in Cutting Class. Like in terms of like a horror movie, had some really inventive stuff. And Death by Table Saw was definitely unique for the time. That said, though, that shark just murking Sam Jackson was really, really cool, at least in my eyes anyway.
I think it'll be Jim from Fateful Findings just because that is iconic. Breed and BMC, like, I forget the exact quote, but just it's so crazy, like everything else Breen does, and it was just hilarious.
I also feel like I don't know if people are gonna see it as like giving it 2 awards because it's also up for best scene.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I personally hope it doesn't win both because I'd like to see the wealth spread.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's another death that really is popping out.
Sam
Samuel
Jackson.
I mean, yeah, but like barely anyone showed up to the Deep Blue Sea screening.
I feel like people have seen Deep Blue Sea though. Like
Right.
I haven't.
Well, you should get to it.
other people have seen Deep Blue Sea. Is it
Oh.
still on HBO Max? Should be.
I don't know. I personally really like the Cutting Class one. I think Cutting Class had great kills, but I feel like that will also kind of go under the radar with the votes because people are probably just going to skim and see Donovan Leach and think, "Who the hell is that?"
I personally did not remember who that was or how he died until you brought it up, but it was good.
Yeah, I remember the death, but like just by seeing the name, I didn't. So I feel like that's also a hindrance to it.
Yeah, I tried to pick actors here, not characters. My characters might have helped. For Jim, like, you couldn't have done it without Jim. That's the quotes. Everybody else had seen pretty, okay, yeah, you know where this is going. You know who it is.
All right. Any other comments from anybody before we get to predictions?
For John Voight, didn't he die like 3 times
Yes, he
in that
did.
movie?
There were some fake outs. There were some fake
That was
outs.
good, yeah.
I think if I liked
Oh,
Anaconda more as a screening, that I might.
if there was a best non-deaf category, there would only be one option. The
Well, there were
DA
some-
from Anaconda.
Other fake out deaths? I forget.
The DA from Anaconda, who just shows up at the end, still alive somehow.
Yeah. The one dude from Cutting Class, the parent who comes back in the very end, being stuck in the wilderness for a week.
Oh, that's true.
Another good non-death.
All right. So let's do predictions. I personally don't really want Faithful Findings to win because I feel like it's going to get awarded a lot in other categories, but I don't see anything else breaking out enough. Maybe Samuel L. Jackson, but my prediction is going to be for Jim, Faithful Findings.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be Jim.
I'll zag based on name value with Deep Blue Sea and Sam Jackson, just because people are more likely to know it.
I'll go with Anaconda.
Interesting. All right, so this category, we've got a fun one, probably one of the most hotly contested ones. We have Best Director. So we have 5 very different and unique nominees. We have Neil Breen for Double Down, Neil Breen for I Am Here, ... Now, we have Neil Breen for Fateful Findings. We also have Neil Breen for Pass Through. And finally, we have Neil Breen for Twisted Pair. This is such a difficult category with such unique nominees. Am I right, guys?
Good bit.
I'm proud of that one. I'm proud of
So
that
wait, so
one.
how do we even decide to vote? Because this entire category was just set up to be a joke. So what are we voting?
You
this
pick your
year?
best Breen film. Pick your poison.
Well,
And if you pick Pass Through, I don't know what to tell you, bud. Embrace the meme.
I feel like it's just gonna be Double Down because that's just the first one, and they're all green.
I don't discount Fateful Findings.
Yeah, don't
That's
discount.
definitely the most iconic one. But yeah, definitely very unique directorial styles we have nominated. You definitely see it evolve throughout time. I'm barely saying this with a straight face. I just for everyone listening.
Breen's films did kind of change over time. Like Double Down doesn't look like Fateful Findings. Fateful Findings doesn't look like Twisted Pair. I Am Here Now is a little bit different than everything else.
Yeah.
Pass Through, I assume he made on peyote. I really don't know.
Which is the one that was just a college campus?
That was Twisted Pair.
Oh, that was Twisted Pair.
Yeah.
For me, Double Down is my favorite, but I think I would have to vote for Fateful Findings just because of the direction in general. It's the thing that makes that movie what it is. Like Double Down also has different stuff in like the script, but just I find just being in that one thing, you can tell there's like a very heavy director's hand in all of the acting, pushing a certain direction. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Fateful Findings too. That was my favorite. I could see Double Down being second, Twisted Pair third. Those are probably gonna be the top 3 in some order. I'm pulling for Fateful Findings.
I'm gonna vote for Twisted Pair because you can actually see marked improvement in his filmmaking, which it's still Breen, it's still awful.
Green
But-
screen.
Yeah,
there's definitely some fun directing things
but
in there.
it's actually better and it's not passed through.
Fair.
He recovered, quote unquote.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he did.
I'm gonna go with my vote and my prediction. It's got to be Fateful Findings. But yeah,
I agree with Chris.
My prediction is Double Down because people are lazy.
I can see that. Watching them go past through despite everything.
That would
You
be
want,
my second.
you want your meme category? I'll give you a meme answer, bud.
I can tell you this: if I say one prediction, this might be a hot take. I think Neil Breen's going to take director.
No,
Let's
it's
move
gonna be Neil
on.
Breen.
Next
What do you mean?
category
Yeah, watch out
is
for Neil
best
Breen.
screen.
I love how stupid this show is.
Might sneak in there. Okay, he's a dark horse, but Neil Breen, he could really take this. I can really see him going all the way with this.
We're an hour in, and we're halfway through.
That's a good
Nobody's
sign.
going to listen to this.
That's a good sign, though.
Don't say that.
I'm pretty sure I can already edit like a half an hour of stupidity out of this.
No, that's going to be the post credits. Okay, that's going to be the post credit bloopers at the end. And
We're
it's
going to release 2 different episodes, one for the show and one for bloopers.
Release the awkward
Good.
cut. Release the meme cut.
I'll take the next category. The next category is best screenplay. And the nominations are Greg Hurwitz for The Book of Henry, Joseph Minion for Vampire's Kiss, Neil Breen for Fateful Findings, Steve Rudzinski for Carousel, and Stephen Knight for Serenity. This is a tough one. I think, first off, I'm kind of disappointed that Willy's Wonderland wasn't an option because the screenplay for that movie was so incredible.
Wasn't official, so it wasn't.
It wasn't official, but if it was, I could see voting for it in this category. These are all good though, and again, in the different ways, but all in ways they're just why would you write this?
I'm very confident that we chose the best 5 out of these. I'm very happy with these nominations. And yeah, I feel like you could definitely look at them different ways. Like Serenity and Book of Henry is just for sheer
absurdity. Yeah.
Carousel and Fateful Findings, like you probably so many quotables from those movies. And then what's the 5th one? We got Vampire's
Kiss.
And it's just like let's just let Cage do his thing and write directly for him.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of difficult options here. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what order I'm going to do them in, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like if I'm gonna guess right now, first off, you never know with the Breen stands, okay? You never know with them if that could surge. I don't think it will in this category. I mean, it might have director locked, I don't know. But I feel like it's not going to get screenplay. I'm also kind of doubtful about Vampire's Kiss because I feel like that movie is mostly Cage and not the script. So I feel like it's going to be Book of Henry, Carousel, or Serenity. I don't know what you guys think.
In terms of my preferences, I mean, Vampire's Kiss works because it's written for Cage so well also. But I think Serenity, just because the first, hour and 40 minutes of that movie are written so badly with such awful dialogue that it's so quotable. And then, of course, there's the ending. I think that's my vote.
I'm gonna vote for Carousel because that was super fun. Yeah, I mean, I had a blast. It was the screening was like that I saw because I saw the second one was like me and one other person, and just the movie itself was so fun that instantly became one of my favorite BMC movies. I think probably Book of Henry and Serenity will do well if it's not Carousel though.
You know what I love about this category? We've got 4 interesting nominations, 4 writers who are kind of new to screenplay scene, and then you have Stephen Knight. Stephen Knight is not some amateur writer. Let me tell you.
Wait. Did you just call Steve Rudzinski a new to the scene amateur writer? Who's like, oh, okay, I see what you're going for here, but I just want to make clear that it is a very different type of writer than the writers who have been contracted for these Hollywood movies. I guess Breen is similar. I guess I totally misinterpreted your sentence there.
Yeah, I was talking like actually. Yeah, I guess I was just talking more like legit. Here's the clout Stephen Knight has to back him up. He made films such as Locke, such as The Girls in Earth. He wrote like Locke. He wrote Seventh Son. He wrote Allied. He wrote The Girl in the Spider's Web. He is one of the main creators of Peaky Fucking Blinders, of Taboo. He even helped create Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm not kidding. You go to his Wikipedia page, he is one of the main creators of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And somehow he's on here. Like, what?
Also, one thing I want to point out, first off, like half of those movies I didn't even like, but that's not the point. But I get what you're saying. Established writer. He wrote Eastern Promises, which is a David Cronenberg film, and he was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
He's an Oscar-nominated screenwriter, and he wrote that.
Absolutely absurd.
Also, one I want to point out is that Joseph Minion also wrote, was this prior? Yeah, prior to writing Vampire's Kiss. Before that, he wrote After Hours, which is a Scorsese flick. So we went from Scorsese to Vampire's Kiss.
Cage.
That's interesting.
The Cage, which is a step up.
You're not wrong there.
Vampire's Kiss, I feel, is borderline. Like, I get what they were going for with that a little bit. It's like not borderline good, but I don't know. It's borderline like not bad. I guess
it makes sense as you progress through the film what they're doing. Like the first scene, like what in the blue hell is this? And as it keeps on going, it's like, oh, here's how this is going, and it all kind of falls into place a little bit.
Like the idea behind it is interesting. It's just the execution.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
then you have Cage being Cage on top of it.
Yeah.
And it just makes it completely insane. And it's fun, but not great.
So let's do predictions. I'll go first. So I feel like I already said before, I don't think it's going to be Vampire's Kiss and Fateful Findings, and I'm going to stick with that. I feel like Book of Henry and Serenity, their scripts, are very dependent on their twists and certain scenes. So I feel like they're going to get honored another way. So I'm going to predict Carousel, and that's probably what's going to be my vote for it, because, God damn it, it's so quotable. So I'm going to say Carousel.
Book of Henry isn't quotable?
Well, like,
don't condescend to me.
I feel like Book of Henry is going to get honored a lot more in other categories.
You talk about films that could sweep. I mean, Book of Henry, man. The more I think about it, the more I'm slowly convinced.
I wonder how many of our voters, though, are, because that was a year ago almost, how many of our voters are going to know or care about Book of Henry?
I mean, I think it's like on HBO Max or something if they want to stream it. I recommend.
They should, but have they? And will they?
Are people going to stream all these movies because we told them to for an award ceremony?
It's plexi voting.
Some of these are so entrenched in the lore, though. You have to understand the lore, right?
Yes.
Got to double down on that.
All right, I'm going Carousel. What do you guys think? This is a very hard one.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from like a everything kind of standpoint. It's either going to be Serenity or Book of Henry for me. I'll go Book of Henry just because it's dense of WTFness. So we'll go with that.
All right, that's your prediction. Okay, Vic.
I want Steve Rositzky to get some love here, but I feel like he's going to be Book of Henry.
Okay, all right.
I'll go Serenity just to spread the love on these.
Interesting. I definitely could see all of them getting a lot of love. Also, I just want to point out, you mentioned Book of Henry possibly sweeping. I do think Carousel has a lot of passionate supporters. I think it has a shot. I don't know if anything's going to sweep. I don't think anything's
going to. At the same time, both of the screenings were pretty quiet, so I wonder how many people do care about it.
Right.
I feel like that's the thing that hurts Carousel the most throughout this. Is just not a lot of people like saw it as a screening. Might have seen it on their own, hopefully, but
it's on Tubi. You can watch it now with ad blocker. Easy peasy. It's on Prime too.
Is it on DirecTV Premium?
You made that joke for me.
Moving on. And I think it's you. I think so.
Okay. Next up, we have Best Couple. What's we looking for here? MTV Movie Awards inspired category. Got some nice pairing of couples here. Leading off, we've got Cade and Kale Altair from Twisted Pair, Eddie Brock and Venom from Venom, Jupiter Jones and Kane Wise from Jupiter Ascending, Shark Boy and Lava Girl from The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and Tammy and T-Rex from Tammy and the T-Rex. I do love how in 3 of these, the characters are the name. Sorry, 4 of these. 4 of these.
3 of 3. Well,
and then
and a
the
half.
pair also says literal pair, like saying, so that technically is in the name too. So that was
their
not
names
intentional. I don't know.
Cade and Kale.
Yeah, that's their names.
Like,
I
It's
mean,
not a joke.
technically, they're all represented here in some capacity. Jupiter Ascending, Jupiter Jones.
yeah.
Um,
We really, why did we make
Wow.
it so hard? These are hard.
Yeah.
I love that 2 of these are just
The names.
one dude being in love with himself.
True.
Because Hardy is
Two,
obviously
2 other
both.
ones of them are animals. There's
Oh,
bestiality in like 40% of this category.
We've got a lot of
If
choices.
we didn't have Howard the Duck, we could have had a 60%. We could have had an entire bestiality category.
Let's
Ooh,
Podcast
not.
would got very
And
bad.
now I'm glad we didn't do that.
Cats.
Oh, they're all cats, so that works. That's a furry category.
Oh,
So okay, you can decide if leaving that in or not. My pick is
I might
I
shame
think
you.
I think I would go with Jupiter Ascending. I feel like we've kind of forgotten about this, but just the way that sexual tension developed throughout the entire movie.
You're
Like I
not
remember
wrong.
that entire screening, I was just going kiss, kiss, kiss,
You're
and
right.
it took that because it was clearly headed there, but it took the entire movie. That was amazing.
One thing I find interesting with the Noms is that Cade and Kale from Twisted Pair is the only Eddie and Venom isn't romantic either.
Eddie and Venom is
is that-
definitely romantic.
Is Shark Boy and
There's
Lava
some-
Girl?
Oh, that was not romantic.
Okay, good because I haven't
They're
seen it.
romantic, but some of them are platonic. I find there's an interesting balance.
Most of them are platonic, I'd say. The only ones that were like bona fide romance were Tammy and the T-Rex and Jupiter and Kane.
I mean, Chuck Boy and Lava Girl do have a kid eventually, and we can be heroes.
Yeah, but like the movie isn't about them. It's not about that. It's about them working together to save the dream world.
True.
They're partners in that one.
Yeah, I don't know if there's one that stands out to me. I mean, Eddie and Venom, such an iconic pair. Tammy and the T-Rex, the name of the movie.
I mean, Tammy really cared about that T-Rex. I'll tell you what. She
Really?
really cared about that T-Rex.
This is very hard. I don't know what I'm gonna vote for, and I
This
don't
is
know what I'm gonna
tough.
vote either. This is there's not like a front runner, or at least a couple front runners. I think all of them have a shot.
I kind of want to go Eddie and Venom because it's basically Tom Hardy doing physical comedy and essentially bullying himself the entire movie, and it's amazing.
I also just want to quote a line. I think I might have said this for quote. We didn't go with it. Where he's gonna it's like jump out the window. No, jump out. And
Pussy.
he's in the elevator, and then just like pussy.
Such a great dynamic between them.
I'm hungry. Food for the tank.
Like a turd in
Pile
the
of
wind.
bodies, pile of heads.
Y'all are convincing me on Venom right now. But yeah, I guess let's do predictions on what we want. Hen, you said Venom, right?
Yeah, I'll go Venom.
Venom.
Yeah, I'll go Venom. I'll double down.
Nick?
I think it's going to be Jupiter Ascending, honestly. Venom is close. Twisted Pair and Tammy, I think, are close too, but I think that's become like iconic in the BMC. Like, I think that has a lot of momentum.
All right. Ari, what are you thinking?
I'll predict Venom.
Venom? Okay. Yeah, I'll just talk about Venom has kind of made me lean toward there, but I think Jupe is definitely going to be very close, if not win as well. And watch out for Tammy, I think. I think Tammy could. And Breen. Always watch out for Breen.
Yeah.
I think Tammy can win too because of recency bias.
I think Venom has the advantage in that it probably has the highest percentage of people in the server who have seen it.
Yeah, a lot of people watch it on their own, I think, when it came out in theaters and stuff.
I mean, it actually made box office money.
Oh yeah, it was on
Yeah.
Flash.
A lot.
Venom 2 next summer? No, this summer, excuse me, in 2 months.
Okay, our next category is Best Song. We have Deepest Bluest by LL Cool J from Deep Blue Sea, Dream, Dream, Dream by Taylor Lautner from The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Sodomy by Sebastian the Fox in Meet the Feebles. Venom by Eminem in Venom. And Wild Wild West by Will Smith in Wild Wild West. I'm very disappointed Will Smith's last name doesn't start with a W.
Is Wild Wild West a good song?
It's
bad.
This is the best part of the movie.
You mean the credits then? Because that's when it played.
You didn't like that giant spider?
So are
That was
credit songs
actually cool.
Are we evaluating credit songs differently?
I think
They're
we're just
not in the
evaluating the
movie?
songs.
It's just
Yeah,
a
it's
song.
just a
I mean,
song.
really, there's not a whole lot of movies with
Okay.
songs.
So,
It's best song, not best credit sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of great songs here. Two I want to point out right now is the Dream song by Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I feel like it's gonna. My review for Shark Boy and Lava Girl on Letterboxd is like Dream written like 200 times or something. I just kept copying and pasting it. So just like the pool scene for Showgirls, since it's my review, it does have my heart a little bit. And I feel like the Sodomy song is gonna get last. But I feel like Ken's gonna defend it right now.
That is a goddamn shame it's going to get last. Listen, most of you never saw Meet the Feebles, and I understand that.
I watched.
I
the
want
first
y'all to
half,
go on
and I think I
YouTube.
had turned it off by this point.
Listen, I want you to go to YouTube, and I want you to search for Meet the Feebles song, and I want you to watch this fox give his all, talk about sodomy. It
I thought you were
sounds
going to tell people
ridiculous.
to go to YouTube and search see, and I was going to say, please don't recommend that.
Just search Meet the Feebles song. It'll pop up. It's the one with the fox giving it, and he
Not type in the name of the song.
Yeah, do not do that. You're gonna get some
Go to Google,
questionable
type in Sodomy.
things.
Do it. I dare you.
Safe search off. Yeah, but like I'll tell you what. I want to vote for that for myself because honestly, Deepest Bluest, okay, fine. Venom, okay, fine. Wild West, okay, fine. Dream, 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 fine. There is not a song that is more integral to the plot of everything, that is more passionately sung than that song right there. And if you ever do Google it, which some of you probably will not, you watch it and think to yourself, Pen, what drugs are you on? I'm on nothing, sir. I just love this song. I love this puppet doing this song. It's crazy. It's absurd. It's hilarious. Go check it out if you haven't already. That's all I'm going to say about it.
I knew immediately when we were going to talk about this category. Ken's going to give a passionate defense about
I'm
me.
telling you, this is like one of the reasons
He's
why
the only one who stayed for the entire movie.
No, I was there. I stayed.
I nominated it. I saw this movie years ago. I'm like, this is going to be perfect for it. And you all bailed because you couldn't handle the puppets doing the stuff.
I stayed.
I know, Chris, you get past, Chris. You're my boy on this. Chris and Harpy, they stayed. Everybody else, you bailed too soon, man. You bailed too soon. The ending's probably the best. Ending's the best part of that movie, right? Am I right or am I right?
I agree. Ending is the best part. One thing I
Exactly.
want to point out that I find out funny is that one of the only musicals we screened here is Cats, and it didn't get a nom for best song.
Yeah, because Sodomy was a better song.
It didn't have any
much more
like
fun.
good. Could we have nominated like Memory? Or
Probably
does it
not.
not count if it's not original to the movie?
It was an original one that like Taylor Swift did, but
You should have done the one that the Francesca Hayward did. Because that
That's
technically
not
is a song for the movie.
Oh,
That
the
was
one
not
that's
the play.
technically for the movie,
Yeah, that would have counted.
but it also wasn't good or bad. It was just kind of, you know.
Chris,
Oh, man.
Predictions?
I just put your review of Shark Boy and Lava Girl into a word counter. How many times did you say you
I
put
said
the word dream?
200. I don't know.
It's 3,265.
I didn't know. I just kept doing
That's amazing.
literally during the screening because I think it was a smaller screening. I just kept doing it during the movie.
I copy and pasted it into a word counter. I did it twice, actually, in two different ones to make sure that was right. And this one says word count 3,265. Character count without space 16,320. Sentence count 1.
Yeah, I feel like I have to vote for this now at this point. That's hilarious. I didn't realize I just said a number. But yeah, that good. 3,000 good. Yeah, great. I don't remember what we were talking about before. That
We're going to talk about the music video for Deepest Bluest and how LL Cool J literally anamorphs into a shark.
But
That too.
lots of good options.
Too much fun. Too much fun.
I guess to transition into predictions, I'm gonna predict one we haven't really talked about. I think Venom's gonna win.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a lot of people know it. Watch out for Wild Wild West as well. I don't Sodomy and Dream. How iconic?
I can
I don't
see
know if they have a
Dream maybe having fun with it.
Maybe.
I will concede that one. I will accept the fact that my pick will be last, but all I'm saying is you search on YouTube, you type in Meet the Feebles, it's the third hit. It's only literally 2.5 minutes. Give it a shot if you want to just laugh your butt off. And it's not just the song. There's some background stuff while the song is playing. So
nice. All right. So,
give it a whirl, man.
Okay. Venom's gonna be my prediction. All right.
I don't know if I'm skewed by the fact that Banjo and Bot just always sing it whenever there's a voice channel or anything, but I'm with Venom.
Okay, Vic.
I agree with you, Chris. I think it's gonna be Venom, and Wild Wild West could sneak maybe.
Ken.
It's probably gonna be Venom. I want to see Deepest Bluest get it because that song is kind of nice. If Venom takes it, I'll be disappointed because having a song about Venom, like essentially a truck revving.
I think it's objectively the worst song, right?
Oh yeah, it's a terrible song. It
is legitimately bad. Yes,
it's a bad song. Which I guess since we have best in quotations, it kind of.
I mean, all of these have best in quotations.
Yeah.
To be real for a second here.
Yeah. So moving on to there, we have what I would like to say is probably one of my personal favorite categories because it's probably the most unique is best inanimate object. Before I say the nominations, we kind of thought of this just as we were going on. We were just thinking about objects. We're like, what if we just made this a category? I don't remember how exactly it came up. We were just like, what if we made it a category? We had like more options than we even thought of. So, but the 5 that we chose were the Antidote Pen for the faculty, Duke the Carousel Unicorn from Carousel, the Fake Teeth from Vampire's Kiss, the laptop, or one of the laptops from Double Down, and the Vape Pen from Drive Hard. So yeah, I'm gonna at least say first, only some of these have emojis for them. The pen does for faculty. We probably have a Duke. Do we have a Duke?
There's a Duke one.
There
I
is.
That one. Vampire's Kiss emoji has the teeth.
Yeah.
Double Down does not have the laptop.
True. Also, I feel like with Double Down, we could have gone with the tuna.
Yeah. Well, I think at one point there was a couple like other ones.
Yeah.
What did we pick? I think we picked there was a Faithful Finds one in here at one point. And essentially said, oh, this could be Double Down. We picked Double Down for it instead. It might have just been the laptop or satellite dish or something. I forget why we switched. Tuna was one that could have worked. I saw cassette tape in the chat. I would say that would be a reasonable nom, but it's connected to a scene that's already in there. So it already kind of got nom once, I think.
Yeah. Also, as I was listening to them, I didn't list out, of course, we have the iconic John Cusack, vape pen in hand, driving and Drive Hard. That better. I don't know if it's going to win, but I know I'm rooting for it. Probably because it's just so iconic, but watch out for Duke, I think. And the teeth that could too. And Brain. I'm just going to start. I don't want to list all of these. Someone else talk.
There's a lot of good options here from what I'm seeing. Probably the only one that like stands out on its own as a good object are probably the pens, I think.
Yeah.
My thought would be probably the vape pen, just because no other one accentuates a performance quite like John Cusack vaping and Drive Hard.
It really
I think it just makes the character so much. Like it just you need that, and like you have that. You also have like the burner phones that he just pulls out of nowhere and just throws away in every scene.
Forgot about that.
I think that just makes it so iconic. And it just fits so perfectly. And I also didn't really notice it the first time I watched it by myself a couple months before we started. And then like it was the only thing we could talk about.
I definitely feel like one of the biggest things going for it, at least for me personally, like when I see a pen, I just think of a pen. When I see a laptop, I just think of a laptop. But if I see anyone vaping, that image of John Cusack will go into without hesitation.
What if you see a carousel? What does that make you think of?
I don't know. I don't know if I would directly go to Duke. It might just probably just think like, oh, an amusement park. And then it'll probably go to Duke. It'd be like that one step. But like if I see a vape pen, if I see anybody vaping, I think I'm trying to remember the name of the movie.
You think of semantics immediately.
Yeah. There was a movie that came out like a couple months ago. I think it was called I Care a Lot. It was on Netflix. And Rosamund Pike, she vaped, and whenever she did, I just thought of John Cusack.
Yeah, if it was a Rosamund movie, I Care a Lot. So now I need to see I Care a Lot to help complete the Vape Pen spiritual sequel, I guess we'll call it. I don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like definitely for me at least, my vote's going to be for Vape Pen, and it's probably going to be my prediction as well. Although watch out for Duke. I think Duke would probably be second.
In terms of associating things like immediately with movies, I have a dead laptop here, and every time I look at it, I feel like throwing a book at it. I don't like
No more books.
have a
No
lot
more
of
laptops.
life experience with like fake teeth, so every time I see them, I think of Vampire's Kiss. In terms of like personal favorite, I think it's Duke. Just because the Duke is like a legit character and one of my favorite characters in a movie. I'm not sure that I think anything
How
can
did
take
Carousel
this
not get
category.
nominated for Best Effects?
I mean, I don't know if they were really effects or because it was basically just a shot, like a still shot of the unicorn standing there and then voiceover. I don't know how much really effects there was.
I don't know, man. There was that one scene in the ending. There was that one thing in the ending that I guess you might have forgot about.
You also had the unicorn stabbing people.
Yeah, there definitely could have been a possibility for effects. But
Oh, that's six.
Predictions?
predictions, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, Vape Pen.
I will Vape Pen.
Vape Pen.
Pen.
Yeah, I said Vape Pen.
Okay.
Okay, we all said it. Our next category is film most likely to be a money laundering scheme because who funded this and why did it get this? The nominees are at $95 million, according to the first result on Google, Cats. Collateral Beauty at $36 million. $180 million for Jupiter Ascending. $25 million for Serenity. $170 million for Wild Wild West.
Now, bear in mind, these are also numbers
I
at the
have
time
one
of
that
release,
stands out.
correct? Excuse me, they were numbers like at the time of
believe
release,
so.
correct? Okay,
I
so
believe
that
so.
170 for Wild Wild West is I think inflated to like I think near 300
Yeah, you
million
can
in
probably
today's.
like double that.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, I think it would be like one of the biggest of all time, and I think it
Right.
was, right?
It was one of the biggest of all time. You're correct about that.
I think so. Yeah, so there's one to me that stands out, and I'm curious if I'm on the same wavelength with that.
Tell me what you're thinking.
I have very strong feelings about one movie here.
Which one?
Go first. Let's know.
Okay, I think it has to be Wild Wild West. So I think so for Cats and Jupiter Ascending, you can kind of see where that money might have gone, just because like there were effects, not good effects, but there were many effects that you can say, okay, this is a lot of money.
I agree with you on half that statement.
Both of them, and I think and then for Collateral Beauty and Serenity, you have it's not as big a budget, and it's also like okay, clearly the entire budget is just going to these actors, and there's not anything else in there. Which is also you could consider that the money laundering scheme, and that would be totally valid. But I think it has to be Wild Wild West. It's an insane number, and you watch the movie, and it's not like an insanely expensive movie in the same way.
Well, with Wild Wild West, I mean, look at the cast. It seems like a lot of money went to that cast, and then they, have the giant robotic spider that what's his face was obsessed with.
His name is John Peters, and he almost made a Superman movie.
Yes, with the giant spider.
A great story.
I feel very strongly that this should be Jupiter Ascending, because here's my thing. That came out like a year after Guardians of the Galaxy did, and it had like 10 million more budget-wise, and it just, for a movie that could arguably be considered similar, it just looks so much worse than that. And then it's just like a whole bunch of ideas mashed together. Like there's like 5 different things, just like this is more like of a script thing, but like it just seems like something that was thrown together just to make a movie almost. And I feel like those things kind of, for me, make Jupiter Ascending the front runner.
I think someone said during the chat something like, "You can see the money burning in every scene," and that's one of the best quotes from a streaming chat, and it's just so true.
I agree with you that like Cats was kind of overinflated. Jupiter, like money was being pumped into that, and it was being pumped into the movie itself. With Cats, you can't justify to me all 95 million of that went to the movie. We saw like even the patched version. You can't tell me those effects are like done. You can't tell me that like that is the best effort they could have given. And yeah, the release was apparently a little bit rushed. It did come out really early, but like, I don't know.
Okay, so this is
totally valid, and I feel like if you were gonna pick, I think if you were gonna pick a way to create a money laundering scheme through a Hollywood video release, either picking a live version of the musical Cats would be a great way to have no one ask you any questions about it.
Yeah.
Or a reboot of a 1960s television show would also be a good one.
I feel like it's very interesting that all three of you said a different nominee that you're passionate about, and then I'm going to say a fourth one. So this is what my thought is.
I think I know where you're going to go.
Say Serenity.
No.
He's going to say Collateral Beauty.
You
I know, Chris.
And this is, hear me out. Okay. So Serenity, they clearly made an effort on that. I can't think that's a money laundering scheme.
Yeah.
I feel like the Wachowskis also made an effort on Jupe. So that knocks that out for me. No matter how much it failed, I feel like there's some ambition in there. Cats and Wild Wild West did have like big budgets, and I guess it would make sense, like the idea, doing a movie based off of like a big TV show, they're going to put money into it. Let's do money based off of a hit Broadway musical, put money into it. How did they get that cast for Collateral Beauty? How? With that script, how did they get Will Smith, Helen Mirren, Keira Knightley, Edward Norton, Michael Pena? Kate Winslet was in it, right?
I have 36 million reasons how they got the way they got that script.
But come on, it's worth that much money. Like that's not even like that's spread off about like 8 of them.
See, I feel like that'd be more like a blackmail scheme. Like, you're going to do this movie, and you're only going to pay. We're going to pay this much for it because we have some dirt on you. And everyone was like, "Oh, fine."
Like Collateral Beauty in my head also equates to a movie that has not been screened here, but could one day, and that's movie 43, where there's so many people, and there was like, how the hell did you get this many people with this idea to get in that movie? That's my thought process, at least.
I just want to point out, while you're on Collateral Beauty too, I like how Will Smith is on this list twice for roles he clearly took for money.
Yeah.
Will Smith knows his lane, man. I mean, in the 90s, he was the guy. I mean, Independence Day, Men in Black.
Collateral Beauty was 2016.
I don't care. He had a run. I don't care. He was the guy for a while. He was in Suicide Squad the same year as Collateral, right? Yeah, 2016.
Yeah, 2016 was rough for him.
God, fucking. Oh, it was a bad year.
Oof, it was
a bad year. As a DC fan, it was a bad year.
Yeah, so I find it very interesting that all of us have backed a different one. So I think that means this category is wide open. At least my thought.
Yeah.
I thought
it was going to be more obvious, but I guess we all thought that in different ways.
We all thought it was more obvious for our picks, and then everyone.
If I was going to pivot to something, I'd be more likely to pivot to Wild Wild West, because like imagine someone taking $300 million today and doing an adaptation of like I Dream of Jeannie. How?
Can we?
How?
Do we know at the time, was it the highest budgeted movie released ever?
I can search that for you real quick.
I feel like that's true.
I think at the screening somebody said it was one of, maybe.
I can double check for you here.
Up there. Oh, I got it. It was produced on a $170 million budget, making it the most expensive film ever made when adjusting for inflation at the time of its release.
There is, okay, so here are the films that unadjusted that costed more. Titanic had $200 million unadjusted, and I think that's all it goes to. Yeah, Wikipedia just goes to $200 million.
For adjusted for inflation, I have the chart here. Wild Wild West is at.
I feel like it's probably only passed by like Avengers Endgame.
What?
I feel like it's only passed by like Avengers Endgame.
For adjusted or nominal?
For adjusted.
Adjusted, it is 27th overall.
Yeah.
What's at the top of that list?
Pirates of the
Caribbean
would be
Avatar probably up there.
Wasn't it comboed with Dead Man's Chest? Correct me if I'm wrong, or no? What? It was what? Dead Man's Chest was 285. On Stranger's Ties was 430. Oh wait, that was. Never
I feel
mind,
like some of
I'm
these
stupid.
are very like there's no definitive answers for these because these are all like rumored numbers because you don't get like actual ones. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with in my head, it absolutely is the most expensive movie of all time. You can't convince me otherwise.
All right, so let's move on to predictions. I'll go first, I guess. I feel like it's gonna go to a Will Smith movie. I'm gonna lean towards Wild Wild West for my prediction.
I predict Wild Wild West, and I will give you 2 facts about Wild Wild West. First fact, adjusted, its budget is $261 million in today's money, which is a little absurd. Second fact, only 2 films had a higher budget than it at the time of its release. One was Titanic in 97 with $200 million unadjusted. The other was Waterworld in 95 with $172 million unadjusted.
I'm gonna make a counter argument. How many people do you think are gonna take the time to look this up when voting?
Probably should have put it on the form.
I'm just giving facts here, man.
Ari,
We probably should have put it on the form. I'll say Jupiter Ascending just to give a different prediction now.
Vic,
I think it's gonna be Cats, based on it's not the BMC but the general reputation of Cats, and I think probably Wild Wild West is like the sort of dark horse, other sort of one that could net it. Jupiter Ascending, obviously, I have strong feelings on that, but the other ones don't really jump out to me the way that after hearing everyone else's comments as Cats and Wild Wild West do.
So now
Just-
we're getting into the real meat and potatoes of this form. We are now hitting the major awards. We've got the acting awards and picture awards coming up. We're going to lead things off with Best Supporting Actress, and we've got 5 pretty good choices here. Anne Hathaway in Serenity, Courtney Cox in Masters of the Universe, Denise Richards in Tammy and the T-Rex, Leah Thompson in Howard the Duck, and Taylor Dooley in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
lots of good options here.
I have a strong favorite in this
I also
category.
completely forgot that Anne Hathaway was in Serenity, and I also am currently thinking it through the entire movie, and I just cannot picture her.
She's blonde. That's why you can't picture her.
Like I
That's what
can't
I was gonna
even picture a female character in the movie.
No, I can't.
I definitely can.
Like, it's the whole point of the movie is that the way it kind of starts in motion is like you gotta, yeah. And doesn't Maddie bang her in the movie too?
Yes.
Yeah.
More or less.
Can you
Also,
talk about it too?
Fun to think about knowing.
Wait, what's the line he uses? Because there definitely is one.
Me, you, and the tuna.
No.
No.
Oh no.
You said that.
Oh no.
And it's, you know.
I don't even want to imagine what that would be.
There's probably some slick line he said.
Probably.
Something really dumb, but it's not quite like move over kid, I want to bang your sister
What?
from Carousel.
Oh yeah, I'm done. Sorry.
That is a weird thing to randomly hear.
All
It
right.
was random when we saw
The
the
best
movie.
supporting actress, guys.
Does anyone have thoughts?
I guess I'll start. I think we got a lot of good options here. One thing that kind of stands out to me is that with all of these movies, there are, I guess, very memorable elements. I feel like for Howard the Duck, the only good thing in that movie was Leah Thompson. I don't even know if it's for acting ability. It might be because what I was seeing.
I can't say that.
But
I was gonna say an actor's performance, but that would be a little weird nowadays. So counteract that point. Courtney Cox in Masters. Well, actually not, because Skeletor in Masters of the Universe. She was still a good bright spot in Masters of the Universe, though. Courtney
I'm going to
Cox.
be honest, though. I did forget she was in it until we were discussing the nomination.
Really?
Until
I
you
don't
brought her
know.
up, I was like, oh, yeah, she was in it. I
I
forgot
liked
until
her
you
in
brought
that.
her up.
I liked her in that.
But yeah, no, she was definitely good. Denise Richards
Yeah,
will definitely
big
get
one.
the Tammy votes for people who are passionate about that.
that's a big one.
Anne Hathaway also. Taylor Dooley only won with her role in the title as
True.
girl. Also, we snubbed Shark Boy, but nominated Lava Girl. I found that interesting.
Because you'll see why in a second why we subbed Shark Boy, because there were a lot of good picks of that one.
There really were, including one from that movie. But yeah, I think we got a lot of good options here. Does anyone else have anything to say?
I might lean towards Denise Richards. I think, just because we've done multiple Denise Richards movies. I think we've done at least 3 various capacities.
I think
Um,
Money Plane,
so she was in Money Plane and Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers, which is a special.
Unofficial doesn't count.
Yeah.
And maybe some other things. No, it doesn't count. But like we've watched them,
Oh, I see.
and I think that she is just the worst. Like I do not understand how someone is that bad of an actress and keeps getting roles in so many movies. And I think that really deserves recognition.
I mean, I can take a guess why, but I don't want to say it.
I feel like we could, yes.
Yeah.
One thing, this is kind of sidetracked, but you did mention Denise Richards being in 2 films. Our boy Thomas Jane's been in 3, and he didn't get a nom.
Oh, we goofed.
I feel like he's just kind of there in everything he's
I
in.
feel like if we
He's
were going to
literally-
nominate someone for Drive Hard, it would have been Kuzak. Deep Blue Sea,
Yeah.
I wouldn't nominate anything for acting.
Yeah,
Money Plane.
yeah,
That's like Thomas Jane's thing is he's just kind of there.
yeah.
Yeah, but Channel Frame, we're getting 3. No one else has been. Even Nick Cage hasn't even been in that many officials. Nick Cage only has
Right.
Thomas Jane. He's the hidden MVP of BMC.
He's been around, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I guess we'll move on to predictions.
I want it to be Courtney Cox, but I think it's gonna be Tammy.
You gonna say Denise Richards? Okay, Vic.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Anne Hathaway.
Okay, Ari.
I think Anne Hathaway.
I definitely think it's gonna be one of the 2. I think Anne Hathaway definitely has the best name recognition, but I gotta back Tammy. I'm gonna say Denise Richards.
I mean, 4 out of the 5 have good name recognition.
I mean, I think Anne Hathaway has like the most name recognition though.
Probably.
I mean, I guess Courtney Cox too with Friends, but I feel like Anne Hathaway still. So yeah, interesting. We got a split there, 2v2.
Okay, on to Best Supporting Actor. We have Frank Langella, Masters of the Universe, George Lopez, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, John Voight, Anaconda, Kelsey Grammer, Money Plane, and Steve Radzinski from Carousel.
To me, this is another one where, to me, there's an obvious answer. And I also could very much see it where you all pick ones.
I think I have one that I feel like is obvious for me too. I don't know about you guys.
I'll save my spiel for the end.
Okay.
But we might be on different pages here.
Ari, you can go first.
Right. I think my strong lean is for Steve Radzinski, just because of it's amazing his development through that movie, and also the fact that he's the director and created this on Kickstarter, and like it's hard to tell if he's a good actor or not, but he's clearly intentionally hamming it up the entire time. There's also multiple scenes. Then like I don't know if it was like the script changed at one point and they just never caught it, or if it was intentional or what. Like there's multiple times and he's like, you're like, there's halfway through the movie and he's like, wait, are you hitting on me? And she's like, I'm hitting on you. And then it also happens again at the end, as if that first one never happened. When he's like, wait, are you hitting on me? And to me, that's fantastic.
Okay, I'll go next because we are on the same wavelength. I also am thinking Radzinski. He has that power of being a writer, director, and actor. And another thing is that the other 4 are all villains. So I think that makes him stand out as the only non-villain in the category. The fact that he does writer, director,
Depending on whose perspective you're at.
and also the popularity of the film and its many passionate supporters. I'm definitely, for probably my vote and prediction, is probably going to be Radzinski for Carousel.
I am torn between who I want to win because I agree, Steve Radzinski, great. George Lopez did work in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He is the best part of that movie. Like, he's playing like how many characters, and he's just ridiculously fun. I would be happy if Radzinski or Lopez won. I
Correct.
feel like Langella might end up winning though. I don't know, just people talk about it a lot.
So I'm gonna run down the list here, just get my thoughts. Voight and Grammer, both were memorable villains. Both held their own in the movie very well.
I think John
Brzezinski-
Voight was an even better villain because it's John Voight.
That's correct. You're not wrong about that. Brzezinski I liked, but there were two performances that stood head and shoulders above everything else in my mind. One of which was George Lopez, who played not one, not two, but three, count them three, characters in Shark Boy and Lava Girl. All were memorable in their own right. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. There was only one reason why I stuck out Masters of the Universe, and that was Skeletor. Let me tell you this. That movie may have went off 20,000 rails, but seeing Frank Langella just absolutely destroy it as Skeletor, who boy, personally my favorite, and honestly, I hope he takes this one home. Did a fantastic job with him.
When we did this category and we were discussing the category supporting actor, Hen literally was like, Skeletor, Skeletor!
Now, it had to be first.
I
It had to be first because
knew
I
that
could
feeling
not
was
think
gonna
of
be
anything better.
So yeah, I definitely think his is one of the more memorable ones as well. I think his is memorable. I don't know. I feel like though, out of the villainous ones, I think I like Lopez more. Possibly Void. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen Anaconda though.
It was just fine. Langella had the perfect
You
Skeletor
remember
vibe.
Void's accent though? Like what was
What's that? For Voight?
Yeah, Void had like some weird accent, didn't he?
Like, oh yeah, oh he did. That's right. Like some
Yeah.
sort of weird, like Central American, Puerto Rican thing. I'm not sure what it was. I promise I'm not trying to be mean. It sounded really awkward.
I don't know what he was going for, but I feel like that
Yeah.
stick out of my mind. But yeah, for me, I think it's got to be Brzezinski for who I want, and probably my prediction as well. Is everyone else's what they said before their prediction as well, or is like?
I will say this about your guys' predictions. I think you are overestimating Brzezinski just because nobody saw Carousel. I'm thinking it's either going to be Lopez
yeah.
or Langella who take it home. I'm
I
willing to
think
bet
George
Langella.
Lopez could win. And Lopez could win the name recognition vote, but I'll give Carousel my official prediction.
I think Langella is the front runner and Lopez is close. I don't think Krasinski is going to win, even though I want him to, just because not a lot of people have seen it. Which, if you haven't, go see it.
Yes. One thing I do find interesting though is that the Sharkboy and Lava Girl screening was also low attendance.
Oh, it was like in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I don't know how that ended up.
But a lot of people have seen it, though.
That's true.
Too.
It's been on the cable circuit.
I feel
for a
like
while.
definitely the more like younger crowd will probably lean more towards Sharkboy and Lava Girl, and like the older crowd who like loves like 80s movies will definitely I think will go hardcore for Angela for Masters of the Universe. But I don't know if this is partially wish casting, but I really want Brzezinski to win.
It depends on who all watches Carousel, which you can watch on Prime and Tubi TV right
You
now.
really should, because I watched it by myself and had a great experience doing that. It's not one of those you need to be here for it.
Right.
There was so little people. It was glorious and possibly one of my favorites, if not my favorite screening.
I would have loved to see it with a group, but I was borderline happy that there wasn't much of an active chat when I saw it, so I could just focus on the movie. Like I'd love to watch it again with people, but that was just the first experience. Just basically alone was wonderful.
Oh, and it's like really short too, right? Only like an hour or two, I think, something like
Like
that.
an hour and a half.
I think it's less. It's like an hour 20, possibly less than that.
I'll look on.
So, up next we have Best Lead Actress, and for those we got for nominees: Halle Berry for Catwoman, Jennifer Lopez for Anaconda, Mila Kunis for Jupe, Naomi Watts for The Book of Henry, and Rachel Lee Cook for She's All That. I think we got an interesting bunch here. One thing I kind of want to point out already is that I think Naomi Watts was legit good. Like she legit tried, I think.
She did legit try.
Most people in
No. Oh, go ahead, Vic.
I was gonna say it's one of those things like the Book of Henry isn't bad like most of it. It's just insane. Like I don't think anybody was particularly terrible in that. It's just Henry wants us to kill Glenn.
Yeah, I think that none of these really stood out to me in like a bad way. Like like
Oh, I have
they
a
were like
favor for this.
comically bad, like John Voight's accent and Anaconda. Like none of them, I think, were like that.
I have a counter to that. Mila Kunis looks longingly at a toilet brush like she wants to lick it. And it's
I was
disturbing.
just about to point out Mila Kunis.
I love this because these are all very talented actors. I think, right? Yeah, we can definitely say
Yeah.
that.
I don't know if
Um,
I've seen much from
I
Rachel.
think Jennifer Lopez was fine as an actress in that movie. The other four to me were all just absolutely horrible performances by very good actors.
Hmm.
Shockingly, I haven't seen Jennifer Lopez in a lot of things, but I feel like she was doing the best with what she had. And
That's a
if
hustler.
she was in something better, I
She was
think
not
she.
the worst actor in that movie by a long shot.
Yeah, I disagree about Naomi Watts being horrible in the movie. I think she like legit tried, but like the writing is she's like a gamer mom who doesn't know anything.
Yeah, the script didn't do
I think she
favors.
tried. I think she tried, but I think she was very bad at it.
Of
Well,
Like the fault with her performance, or probably because of the writing instead of her.
yeah, if her character is meant to be useless, she did a good job being useless. That
Yeah.
sounds horrible to say, but
That's
I
fair.
watched the movie.
it's
Yeah.
one of those things where you have to look at it not as what they're doing, like as an actor, but as a character, like what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Looking at the performances, we didn't really talk about that much. I kind of erased Catwoman from my head, and I don't like thinking about that movie.
I don't know, man. Watching Halle Berry crossover Jimmy Smits is this guy? I think it was in Catwoman. I can't
I'll
remember.
take your word for it. I don't know.
It looked like Jimmy Smits. But
Again,
watching her cross him over was just, oh boy, there was something there. What that something was, I have no idea.
Yeah. And then
It was not Jimmy Smith, it was Benjamin Bratt. My apologies to Jimmy Smith.
Okay.
And Benjamin Bratt.
And then the other ones we didn't really talk about. We didn't really talk much about Rachel Lee Cook. I thought she was fine.
Yeah, she was fine.
Bad.
Either way. So I guess let's go to predictions. I'll start. I feel like it's gonna be Kunis or Watts. I'm leaning towards Jupe. I think Mila Kunis is gonna win.
Yeah, give me Mila. She did well. I liked her.
I think it's gonna be Mila Kunis too.
Mila Kunis. I'll put down Halle Berry just to have a different prediction.
But deep down, you think Mila Kunis, don't you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Are we doing a competition with this?
What?
Isn't everything in life a competition?
I mean, so someone can track this stuff. Who exactly? I don't know, but someone can.
Not gonna be me, I can tell you. But if someone wants to, I won't stop you.
Last up in the acting categories, we have Best Lead Actor. 5 also interesting picks. We got Adam Sandler, and That's My Boy. We got Mark Wahlberg in The Happening. We got Matthew McConaughey in Serenity. Nick Cage in Vampire's Kiss. And Tom Hardy in Venom. Lads, we have ourselves a race here.
We really do.
I would argue potentially a 5-way dance. You could maybe say it's a fatal 4-way. I don't know, but there are some heavy hitters in this one.
I think all of these are worthy, in my opinion, and I think all of them have a shot of winning. Some possibly more than others. Sandler gave it his all. I feel like that probably has the least shot, though. Probably also because a lot of people seeing it. I kind of lean that way a little bit towards The Happening as well. I would probably say those two are probably, in terms of predictions, like the bottom two. Although, please watch That's My Boy.
No.
Ignore that.
Watch the YouTube compilation. It's fine.
Please do, because I mean, Sandler committed to the role. I mean, he talked with like this weird accent. I
mean, watching him be a degenerate, I guess, could help you prep him for the role of Uncut Gems that he would take on later on. So
exactly.
I don't think he does that in Uncut Gems. But
I said degenerate, so I said what I said.
So yeah, then I feel like McConaughey, Cage, and Hardy all have incredibly strong shots of winning. And all delivered. I mean, just look at the emote that we have from Serenity with Kanye's like or something. I like
face.
It's such low quality because that's what the movie is.
Nick Cage, I can't really. I mean, I don't know.
Or indescribable. Indescribable.
as far as Nick Cage going, Nick Cage, that is top tier.
It
Like,
really
I
is.
I think there's different directions this category goes.
Yeah.
You have some very fun performances, especially Cage and Hardy. Adam Sandler's his own thing. And then you have Wahlberg and McConaughey are two of the worst acting performances of all time.
What?
I-
No.
I'm not going to
Oh,
say
you
that. Not
disagree?
at all for
Oh my
McConaughey.
God, you just
Disagree?
used my reference. What? No.
Oh,
A bit, but we all got it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
think
that's where
Hardy
I'm
was
at.
that bad. Wahlberg was awful, but I feel like Zoe Deschanel was worse.
Yeah, she was really wooden in that.
Yes.
Wahlberg, like, just give me time to think. I can't think without you guys freaking out in the field.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
So wait, when we do the award show, are we doing Best Actor West?
You're gonna have to wait and see what we do. Okay.
Did anybody die in this year? Did Wahlberg die? Did Sandler die? Did Maddie die? Did Nick Cage die? Did Tom Hardy die? No.
I think our
sure at one
self-respect
point-
died.
I'm pretty sure at
One
one
of-
point someone posted a fake link of Adam Sandler dying in the FML
Probably.
server.
That's what happens whenever you get famous. You get fake deaths all the time. You look on Twitter, you see RIP yourself, you meet yourself. Well, what kind of bot did that to me? Just kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Maybe someone dies in the 2 weeks before the award show. We can memorialize them that way. I don't know.
Well,
Fingers crossed that doesn't happen, but you never know.
This took a morbid turn.
I guess it did. I guess it did.
So,
that might get cut too.
No,
That
no,
was-
no,
that
no,
was-
no. Oh man. But back to this conversation here. Tom Hardy, man. I talked about him earlier. Him doing he was like insane in that because the physical comedy he had to do for that was absurd. The fact he was both Eddie and Venom was absurd. The fact he was able to convey the relationship between him and this alien was it's just layers on layers of so bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's surprisingly good even. Like as a buddy comedy, Venom kind of works fairly well. I was having a ball with it. I enjoyed the crap out of it. Same with Nick Cage in a sense. Him just slowly losing his mind. Him reciting the alphabet as a way to express his disdain over something not getting filed.
yeah.
Those are probably my top two favorites of this one, I would say. It's hard to pick.
I'm not a big Tom Hardy fan. I know a lot of people love him, but I'm not really like big on Tom Hardy. But
Like,
I will say he does a good job, and he, like legitimately with what he has to work with, he does a good job in Venom. And him insulting himself the whole time is hilarious. Again, going by like BMC iconic stuff, Matthew McConaughey is probably a front runner. I already said my feelings on Vampire's Kiss, but Tom Hardy might have legitimately been too good, like as an actor in Venom for this, if I'm being honest.
I don't
I
know.
understand your argument,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I still want to reward Tom for that.
All right. So I guess this is a smooth transition to talk about who you want to win, who you think's going to win. Hen,
Yeah.
you want Tom Hardy? And do you think Tom Hardy is well? Or?
Let me tell you this. I think Cage is going to win it just because he's Cage. I could see myself going Hardy or Cage here. Those are probably going to be one of my two. I'm not sure the order of them yet.
All right, Vic?
I'm pretty much the same, but I think I'll commit to Cage.
Okay. Ari?
My vote will be for Wahlberg or McConaughey. I might even look up a sizzle reel to see which one I like better. But it would be foolish to predict against Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I find it very interesting how all of us were like, oh, this category's so stacked, and then we're all predicting Nicolas Cage to win, because that's what I'm also thinking. But watch out for Tom Hardy. If
I mean, at
someone's
the same time, Sandler went places, and that's my boy.
Oh,
Were they good
Sandler-
places? No, but he went places.
I don't know if Sandler's gonna be at number one, but it's gonna be definitely be up there. I don't think it has a shot at winning. But yeah, never bet against Cage.
Yeah, that's the lesson we learned today.
Yeah, I'm shocked we didn't go for Breen for actor, and we also nearly had a John Cusack as well.
We did, but I'm glad with the five we picked. I'm glad we picked the five we picked.
I'm also glad as well.
I think the only reason we didn't have more actors is because we divided actors and actresses, and we just that was going to be hard to come up with more actresses.
That's what we did.
Okay. Yes.
Well, time for the big main events here. So
Top 2 categories.
Okay. So for one of our last 2 big categories, we have Best Picture, and the 10 nominees are Carousel, Double Dragon, Drive Angry, Jupiter Ascending, Roadhouse, Tammy and the T-Rex, The Book of Henry, The Faculty, Vampire's Kiss, and finally, Venom. So, thoughts?
surprisingly, this is the only nom that Roadhouse had, and I believe that that was just a cut above everything we've screened. It's like a legitimate good movie here. So that's why we went Roadhouse just in here. So hopefully you all kind of saw through that and realized you should give Roadhouse the credit it deserves for being the objectively best film that we screened here. I have it as the best. I get that a legitimate 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay. So
Legitimate
I
7
think
out
it
of 10.
depends how you're defining quality, because there's movies that do a very good job at trying to be bad, and in a way that legitimately is good, like Carousel or Taming the T-Rex.
I feel like, yeah. Again, a counter argument to you saying Roadhouse is the best. Is it the best in quotations?
Yeah, I guess
Out of
so.
these 10 nominees, I feel like there are different ways you could think about them. So the first one is films that like legit have good qualities in them. And for those, I'd probably put Roadhouse, I'd put The Faculty, I'd probably put Venom, and then possibly Drive Angry, and then maybe Vampire's Kiss. I'm not sure. Probably not. Okay. And then the second category, which I probably think is probably the top category, probably is the B movies, which I easily Carousel and Tammy. That'd be the second category. And the third one is the what the hell am I watching? And that's
The
Book of
abject failures.
And then probably you could put Vampire's Kiss in there, like, what the hell am I watching? So I feel
I mean, I wouldn't say Vampire's
Wait, where do
Kiss
you put Book of
failed.
Henry though? Where do you put Book of Henry as the one that's like, there's like some of them that like are trying to do a thing and are failing at, and that's why we love them.
I just say Book of Henry is just pure insanity. Like I said, it shifts to
No, but
like the
there's
second to
other-
seventh
there's-
year. It just keeps on going.
I think with some of this stuff too, and I think this is a lot more represented in the next category, but some of this stuff like I want to say Vampire's Kiss is probably one of them. Not Vampire's Kiss, Book of Henry. Sorry. Is doing its thing, and the thing it's trying to do is not necessarily doing bad. It's just that the thing itself is like crazy or terrible. Like Book of Henry is doing what it
It's a
set out
Nicolas
to
Cage
do,
movie.
Yeah.
and it's just insane. I just keep returning to that argument for Book of Henry. It's
We need
insane.
more fancy words than just insanity. Like
Are we
ludicrous.
voting based on our favorite screenings, what the best movie was?
I would argue best movie here because the screenings are, down below. This says, picture best straight up movie.
I think there's going to be a
I feel like
few different trains of thought on how
Yeah.
people are going to vote
That's
on
true.
this. Because it's going to be people are going to vote like best, like the actual best movie that they think is the best movie, the best like screening, like incorporating the chat into the argument, the one they had the most fun with, their personal like favorite.
I think we should welcome all interpretations.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out on top of this, especially since there's so many.
Yeah. So I guess it's time to go to predictions, and these picture ones are going to be very hard to predict because there's 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be very close.
Which is
I
why
think.
I'm going to deflect to someone else to go first.
I'll go. Why not? Yeah, I'll go with the best picture argument. For me, I'm voting Roadhouse. I think Roadhouse will eke it out. It's legitimately a fun movie. I do also want to add here Carousel. Only 70 minutes. That includes credits, so it's a very quick watch. Very fun. I'll
Why
pimp
is
it out
this
again. We
podcast
keep
just us telling people to watch Carousel?
because nobody watched it. We've been imploring you. We are begging you to watch it.
If we're going by recommendations, then it's clearly Carousel.
Clearly.
Also,
If you're Steve Rutinsky, we love you. Please make Carousel too good.
Also, hadn't totally saved you, Chris. I was gonna reverse Uno you, but I guess I'll go next. I think it's gonna come down to like 3 or 4 movies. I think like Book of Henry, Vampire's Kiss, Carousel and Venom are all going to be close. And I know I'm kind of alone in how much I don't like Book of Henry, so I think that's probably ultimately going to win. I could see Venom taking it just because people legitimately enjoy Venom, like, as a legitimate movie, though.
So I'm really sad that Drive Hard isn't on here to
Yeah.
get into like a good quality because it's objectively horrible quality.
I think that was one of the
But-
first ones out that we picked. We said Drive Hard could have been it, but it was like, nah, these are better.
Yeah, we went with the other Drive movie.
I think it might still be my favorite screening though. But so my vote, I think just in terms of if pure enjoyability, I would go with Tammy or Tanny, which the movie
Call
doesn't
it
know.
Danny.
What are your predictions?
Call it Tanny the entire movie except for like the posters
Yep.
and like the official IMDb.
Yep.
What's your prediction?
Everywhere in the movie it says Tanny, and you can't tell if that's the font or what they're saying. I'm still on this, Chris. Like in this, well, we should have turned on the captions and see if they said Tanny or Tanny, because we also can't really hear it. Okay, my prediction though is I think the best straddles of the different ways people might vote is Venom.
Interesting. Okay, so this is my thought process. Now, there are some that I think have no shot in hell, and I'm not going to bother naming them. But I feel like out of some of the ones you said, I think I'm going to name 3 front runners. Venom is definitely 4th for me. Not like in what I'm ranking. I'm just saying what I'm in my predictions. This is just I'm talking about predictions right now. I don't think Roadhouse has a shot in hell because it only has 1 nom. I'll be honest. I think Venom definitely has it because people think it's legit good. I feel like to think of the front runners is to think about what's been the most iconic here and what has the most noms. And that's Jupe, Tammy, and Book of Henry. Jupe, I think most people think is really bad. So I'm going to knock that out, which means I think it's either going to be Tammy or Book of Henry. For my vote, it might be one of those 2 or Carousel. Those are probably my top 3. I'm not sure. I also really enjoyed The Faculty. But in terms of what I predict, it's probably either going to be Tammy or the Book of Henry. And I think I'm going to go with Tammy. Tanny. Sorry. That's going to be my prediction. So yeah, lots of interesting thoughts from everyone here.
Also, just to point out, speaking to the iconicness of some of these, besides Drive Hard, Serenity is also not on this list.
We nearly went with Serenity or Jupe, I think, for that last spot. I wanted to,
Yeah, it's
but other people didn't.
I think we
Though-
did.
I think those are the 2 most notable omissions from this.
Yeah. And now to get to our
Tough category. What can we say?
yeah. Now
So
get-
many people can think it.
Now, for our final category, in BMC fashion, worst picture. And we've got 10 nominees here. Lots of garbage. We've got Cats, Catwoman, Collateral Beauty, Howard the Duck, Miami Connection, Pass Through, Showgirls, Super Mario Bros., That's My Boy, and
Yeah.
Wild West. So what do you guys think?
I love them because they're trash. Oh, I don't want to get in my head just now. Oh God, the one. Okay, if we're going pure worst here, I'll be literal because I'm a literal person. If we're going with the objective worst picture, in my mind, there is a triad of films that make that up. One of them is Cats because it's long, bloated, a lot of songs. It doesn't work. Another is Showgirls because it's long, mind-numbingly awful, and doesn't work. And then there's Super Mario Brothers, which is a massive headache that just never ceases to end. I guess also shout out to Collateral Beauty for raising my blood pressure and potentially giving me early stage hypertension during that movie. That's a joke, but point still stands. Oh, God, that movie was just anger inducing.
Yeah.
That was probably the saltiest I've ever been in a screening.
It was
By far.
I'll be honest here. I'm probably the only one who had fun in that screening, and it was very.
You were.
You get
You were.
very angry. A lot of people got very angry with that movie. I think that's definitely one of the front runners. Including also the other ones you said, Mario, Cats. I'm not as sure about Showgirls. I feel like Catwoman would be a front runner if cats didn't exist. Because I feel like if people are gonna go,
Catwoman was just so overshadowed by cats.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did suck on those.
I don't know. I didn't hate Catwoman. I thought it was kind of okay. There were some fun parts about it.
I hated Catwoman, possibly more than cats. I'm not sure. I really hated Catwoman. Miami Connection, no one remembers, so I don't think that's going to get votes. And also, I think that's the only category it's nominated for. I also don't see Pass Through doing well. Wild Wild West, I feel like, was so bad. I don't think it's going to gain momentum to win. But good God Almighty, I hated that movie. That might be my worst, or it's up there. I hated it so badly. That's My Boy Shouldn't Be Here, but I'm the only one who thinks that, and I don't think enough people saw it.
You are the only one who thinks that because it absolutely should be there.
I
And it could be my vote in a hypothetical universe, in an alternate universe, where we didn't screen a certain different movie in
out
this
of these
club.
films that are nominated, I think That's My Boy's probably the best.
That's my one that I had to leave partway through because I just could not handle it.
That was, yeah.
In terms of what I think,
But no, it is not getting my vote because for me, there is only one contender, and it's Collateral Beauty, and nothing else can ever compare to the pure misery I felt during that entire screening.
it was a good time.
Good in quotes.
Yeah,
Wanted to watch us get mad. Wanted to watch our blood boil.
Yeah, I feel like there are a lot of people who passionately hate that movie, so I definitely think it's a front
Correct. People should hate that movie. It is absolutely horrendous.
runner. We haven't mentioned Howard the Duck. I feel like that got a lot of hate going into it, but it didn't
wasn't that bad.
much hate, like comparatively to the.
I enjoyed it. I think it strayed too long at the end and got bad. The first half was fun.
Okay, I think the first half was a bit off the rails, and the whole plotline romance thing that kind of span out of that was a little bit iffy. Second half was fine. I don't know. I didn't loathe it. There are definitely worse contenders here, though.
Yeah. So I guess we should move on to predictions unless anyone else has something to say.
I love how Miami Connection is the also redheaded stepchild of this category too, because man, it was just
So forgettable.
It's just there.
Yeah.
I don't remember things.
often there, man.
So I guess let's go to predictions. I guess I'll start. While my vote will probably either go to possibly Mario, which I could see winning. There's so much passionate hatred for Collateral Beauty. Watch out for cats.
There is passion hatred for Collateral Beauty. It's still there.
Yeah. So my prediction's probably going to be Collateral Beauty, but watch out for Mario or cats.
I don't know what to think about a lot of these, and like relative to worst movie, the overall feeling on them. I think Showgirls would be a front runner if it wasn't like the second or third movie we did. I think just because of the time and like how much the BMC has changed, probably not, even though it should be. I feel like Collateral Beauty is going to end up winning just because of the overall amount of hate for it. And well, my feelings on My Wild West are very well known. I feel like maybe that could sneak in, but I don't think it's going to really beat some of the more hated ones overall. So I think Collateral Beauty, even though my personal pick would probably be Wild Wild West.
I'll give my thing in two things. First thing, I am probably one of the few people who wasn't like that appalled by Wild Wild West. Like there was some cool stuff in there. It wasn't good, I'll give you that. It was just very iffy at times. That said, I wouldn't put it in the lowest. God, what do I want to give this? I don't want to reward Collateral Beauty in any way, shape, or form because that movie deserves no accolades whatsoever. It just is. It should not be rewarded at all. Its plot line is just atrocious and amoral, and I wish that movie just went away from existence. I don't want to think about it ever again. I want to give this to Super Mario Brothers so bad because, like, I want the world to recognize how really awful the movie this was. But at the same time, Cats though was just bad. It was just not good. I'll go Cats on this one because I think Mario Brothers has my vote for the IP category. So we'll go Cats for worst overall because it just does not work. And I think that's what the general public is going to go to as well, just because it just is long, boring, does not work, very flat, half-naked cats who are horny. What else do you need to know besides that?
There's a bunch I think that probably wouldn't surprise me if they won. And it probably depends on who ends up voting and how people end up voting and what they are thinking about. If we're thinking about what was the worst screening or what was the worst movie, just in pure terms of quality, in which case it's passed through, right? That's not debated,
That's right. Pass through is not good at all.
Like if we're looking at what was the worst movie, there's no other option, right? Especially like there isn't another Breen nominated.
Well, the Breen films are bad, but they aren't like objectively awful. The only one I'd say that's objectively awful is Pass Through, and part of it is because he spends 20 minutes blathering on about the state of society. So
I honestly don't remember anything from it.
I just remember that.
That's the
So
monologue.
I think it depends. I'm not sure how many people outside of the admin group will remember Collateral Beauty, have been around for it, care about it. I think that might be the determining for this category, but I'm going to stick with Collateral Beauty for my prediction.
Nice. And with that, we've gone through every single category.
Oh boy, this was a long one.
This
took way longer than we thought.
I mean, cut out the bloopers, and then this might not be as long.
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
We'll see. But thank you for listening. We don't
We tell you to vote, but this is coming out after you guys have already voted, so just stay tuned for the actual show, which we are in the process of making.
Yes.
As of the release time of this podcast here.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other final thoughts?
Please, for the love of God,
vote.
Go on YouTube and just search Meet the Feebles. The movie's the first hit. The song we're talking about's the third hit. It's only 2.5 minutes, for Christ's sakes.
Do not search the name of the song.
Don't search the name, just search the movie title. Meet the Feebles. That's all you gotta do.
All right.
Tell me I'm not crazy, please.
Also, I recommend watching as many of these movies as you can. Even if this is coming out after you voted.
The only one I would say don't is, let's see here on my list, Collateral, don't. Pass Through, don't.
Do Collateral. Do it.
Everything else, though, I would say is okay to watch.
I say watch them all. Watch them in order. Binge them. Get
the full experience, exactly. Do what we did.
Yes, definitely look out for as many of these as you can, especially Carousel.
70 minutes. You have an hour and 10 to do something. You cannot watch that one episode of TV you want to watch. You cannot, read that book for a day. 70 minutes. Literally just Google Carousel, go on Tubi, get an ad blocker, watch it.
Or Prime,
even better.
Okay. So any last thoughts?
I got really nothing here.
Cool.
Hopefully you voted. Hopefully you like what we have cooked up for the awards. Don't we have much else to say after that?
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the award show, which will be coming soon from when this is released, and stay tuned for other exciting BMC activities.
Don't forget to like and subscribe this podcast on your favorite podcast services. Episode 3 will come whenever we darn well feel like and are ready to talk about episode 3. So just stay alert for that whenever that happens.
Cool. And then with that, we will see you next time.
All right, peace, everybody.
Supposed to say one, you're supposed to do one silently.
Run it back.
I was gonna interrupt anyway because I was gonna say give it a minute after he hits it. So
might as well he's gonna start.
Just go. You can cut this out.
All right.
Keep it in.
Keep it in. Why not? All right. Welcome everybody to episode 2 of the Bad Movie Cast. My name is Ken. We have 3 other Bad Film crew members with me today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
I'm Chris.
I'm Vic.
Already off to a winning start. I love it already.
I knew this was gonna happen.
That was so perfect. You have to leave that in.
Anyway, today
I'm Ari in this voice. Vic, do you want to just say hi? He's laughing so much that he can't unmute.
We're gonna have a great blooper reel for this one already. I can already tell. The blooper reel
Oh,
is
so
longer than the
great.
thing itself. Vic's off camera.
Update: Chris has fallen off his chair while laughing.
Oh no. Great A. Great A, lads.
Oh man. Yeah, let's just start over.
All
No, we
right.
have to leave that in. We really do.
Just have like an awkward cut, like
At
like a
least
blooper.
part of it.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about doing a special of outtakes at some point anyway.
So-
I think you have to leave at least part of that in.
We should do an end take like at the end and be like, I'm Chris, and then I'm Ari and Vic.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, probably good.
So yeah.
All right, take 3.
Okay. All right. I'll do this.
Yeah.
All right, dive right in. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go through each individual category, give all the nominations because why not? We're gonna give our just what we think is gonna win, I guess. We're gonna give our personal picks. We're gonna wait on this.
We could. What are you
I
gonna
think we
say?
can give our picks.
Give our picks? Okay.
I don't know if we should do like full blown like 1 through 5 or, but like
Let's
we.
go with, yeah, just the first place should do.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like these are some of my favorites. We could even,
Yeah.
yeah, and then we'll talk about like who we think will win. Maybe we'll talk about how we came up with these noms too.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good discussion as well.
I also love how this already just became us figuring this out while recording the podcast.
Hey, that's what you do, man. That's,
We haven't had any time to plan.
Do it on the fly.
We've been rushing it. We're rushing this out. We haven't really had any time to plan. It's not like we've been here a year or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, this will be a nice chunk to cut out.
You don't know that.
I always feel good when I can do that.
We'll have 2 post-credit bloopers.
Just all the dead air, all the random awkward talking.
When the episode is 15 minutes of content and an hour of bloopers.
Yes. Yes,
Goodness. All
A
right.
true Bad Movie Club themed podcast.
of course.
Just chaotic, talking over each other. Yeah.
Wouldn't be the BMC otherwise.
So the next category is Best Quote.
It isn't.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
wait, it isn't.
And
Next
that would be
one's up to
Ari's
Bar.
next one. Vic, what's the next category, bud?
Oh, best effects. We have Cats, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Tammy and the T-Rex, Twisted Pear, and Venom.
I'll go Wild Wild
pick
West.
Wild Wild.
Oh, yeah, I'll go.
I'll
I'll go
predict Wild Wild West. Vic, why don't you go?
So, okay, I'll go.
Blooper reels
I
today. Well, it's up to you, Vic. So,
Oh, is it my turn?
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless you don't want to, but
No, I can do it. I have no problem with that. I haven't been keeping track of what turn it is, so it's just been a surprise every time.